game. They're both juniors. Very, very good. And then they've got this defensive front that is awfully good. And, this has been so far, the trenches is where things are happening in this game.
Second down from the 6. This may be the final play of the first quarter. No score. Blue Jays trying to punch it in. They snap it back in the backfield. Rushing play. Option pitch goes bad, and the ball goes rolling way out of bounds. Back behind the 15. That was kind of pushed like a shot put, and the defense, frankly, had penetrated. I'm not sure Russell could see the ball coming from Rooster.
Now, he was actually pitching that to Randolph. But, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it was thrown well behind the running back right there. I think Rooster might have rushed that pitch just a little bit. I'd like to see Rooster slow down, see the patient Rooster that we saw against Topeka High, the guy that's going to let the play develop and not let things happen too quickly. Manhattan wants to slow this game down. Usually it's the Blue Jays that want to do that. Right now the Blue Jays want to go fast, but they're going to have to make sure they stay within themselves.
Ball rolled out of bounds. Blue Jays get one more shot in the quarter. 7 seconds left. Rooster on the option goes right to Randolph, trying to cut the end, does at the 10, but dragged down at the 9, and they're going to be short of the end zone. They're facing their 4th down, and we've got a kicker. I think you'll see Jaden Kell possibly come in.
Are we taking a break here, Dewey?
Yes, first quarter is over, and I'll be back. Brian will be back right after this.
The school that does the most chin-ups determines tonight's winner. So be sure to get it in while you have a chance. We'll be announcing the winner between the 3rd and 4th quarters. This contest is being located
0-0 as we go to the second quarter. Welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. We'll move to the east end of the stadium.
Yeah, Blue Jays looks like they're going to maybe go for this here, but I'm surprised they're not trying to kick a field goal. The only reason I say that, first of all, the Blue Jays should be up 14-0. They really should be. But
they're going to kick from about the 16-yard line.
That's the right thing to do. You know, the Blue Jays won in overtime a few years ago with a field goal. Wayne Shirley was the one that kicked that field goal.
Trevor Laughlin to hold. They brought Jaden Kell in. This will be a 26-yard try from the right hash. He's got to angle it to the left a little bit. See if Junction City can get on the board first. Snap is good. The kick is on the way. Did he get it through? And he did.
Yeah.
3-0 Junction City. We'll pause right here for a 30-second timeout. We'll be back to Al Simpler Stadium right after this. And welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. The Blue Jays have rushed the ball effectively, except inside the 10-yard line. They're leading 3-0, but Brian, they've had it inside the 5 twice and come away with just 3 points.
Well, but what happened is that they fumbled at the goal line, and then a bad pitch, an errant pitch behind the back. This last time when they were trying to go to the west, now we've flipped the sides of the field because we're in the second quarter. Now the Blue Jays are going from west to east. But you're right, Dewey. It's unfortunate because the Blue Jays should be up.
sure to stick around for the Great Rivalry Series Most Valuable Player Award.
Even if the Blue Jays were up 14-0, it doesn't matter because Manhattan is patient. They wait for you to make I guarantee you those kids are not panicked. Even if they were down 14-0 right now, they would not be panicked. They really don't care. They play their style of game. They're very patient, and they wait, and they wait, and they pounce.
Jaden Kell set to kick off from the Blue Jay 40, going left to right. Kind of a slow trot, a little pooch kick coming down near side to the 30. Caught there by Manhattan. They're running backwards. Now they turn it upfield across the 35 to the 39 on the kickoff return that time. Joey Meyer, 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. They've obviously targeted him. I never do like those, Brian, because they gave up a lot of yardage, had a deep kick they wouldn't have had to.
No, but one of the things we noticed that's plagued the Blue Jays this year is their kickoff coverage. I'm noticing starting defensive players out there on the kickoff team now. The Blue Jays are taking it. They have changed their kickoff team. They have, in fact, even Chris Randolph was out there right there, and he's the one that made the tackle with Siddiqui Smith.
All right, 1st and 10, 39-yard line. Dane Aschenbrenner puts one in motion. Jalen Liggins going right to left, takes the handoff, tries to cut the end. The Blue Jays hit him, grab him by the ankles, and bring him down at the 42. It's a 3-yard gain on 1st down.
Blue Jays reading this well. The one thing, though, about this flex bone offense that Manhattan's trying to run, Coach Zimmerman knows how to defend it well, and the reason he does is because that was his offense when he came here. Coach Zimmerman is a flex bone guy. He called it the J, but he's a flex bone guy, and he can run the flex bone and that straight T, so he knows how to defend it, and it's something that's working well for the Blue Jays right now.
2nd down, 7 from the 42. Low snap. They pick it up, give the ball on the far side. Kevontae McDonald has a big rush. 1st down up to the 50. That time they gain 8 in the 1st and 10.
McDonald is so good. He is a really good running back. He's strong, he's quick, but what I've noticed about him is he has great balance. He gets a lot of yards after initial contact because he has such good balance. He's an awfully good running back, Dewey.
All right, 1st and 10, midfield, right hash. The Indians spread 2 wide left on the near side. 2 receivers. Aschenbrenner from the snap, hands off to Kevontae McDonald. The Blue Jays meet him. They shut him down at the line of scrimmage. He tried to angle around the right end, and he was stood up and then had his legs cut from under him.
But this is good coaching, and I want to tell you why. You can tell that the Blue Jay coaches had this defense prepared. They are reading the blocks. They know, and I'm just going to tell you, Manhattan, where certain blockers go, that's where they tend to run, and they're reading. They're keeping their eyes right, and they're reading their cues. They're not getting their eyes caught on the wrong guy in the backfield. Now Manhattan's going to start to run some shotgun stuff at them.
2 wide left, 1 in motion. They hand off on the near side. They're going to, quarterback's running, and he's past the line of scrimmage. 1st down rush. Kind of stumbled, lost his balance at the 37 and fell forward at the 35. Probably cost him 5 or 6 yards, but that's a nice 15-yard rush.
Yeah, it's a power read right there. It's similar to the zone read, but it's more of a power type play. You run to the strong side. Manhattan will unbalance their line. They'll run a tight end. They'll run that H-back, which is basically a tight end or a blocker in the backfield. They'll put them back there. A lot of times that's number 6. Now they're going to line up with him at a wing, but they're going to stay in this shotgun formation.
1st and 10, Blue Jay 35. Aschenbrenner throws near side, completes the pass at the 30. And this will be good for a few yards. They're getting close to the 1st down marker. I think they're going to say a knee touchdown at the 26-yard line. They're a little short, but very close to that 1st down. First pass completed tonight for the Manhattan Indians. They are moving quick. They'll have a 2nd down and 1 from the Blue Jay 26.
They will run a little bit of those outs in the flats. They do like to run the vertical stuff mostly, and every now and then they'll run a flat route out underneath the vertical, but good pass right there by Manhattan.
Here we go from the shotgun set. Aschenbrenner turns, hands off to that big fullback, rushing off the right end for the 1st down. Carried a tackler inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. A gain of 8, 1st and 10, Manhattan.
This is the first time Manhattan's had any success moving the football against this Blue Jay defense. Blue Jay defense, you can tell those linemen getting a little tired themselves. Hands on their hips. Kazarick Smith trying to get him fired up. Now he's looking over at the sideline. But he and Albert Kaba trying to get this defense fired up because this is big right here. The Blue Jays really want to keep Manhattan out of the end zone.
1st and 10, Indians trying to threaten again. And McDonald's going to be dragged down from behind. They caught his arm and swung him around, tackling him back at the 20. That's a loss of about 1.5 yards.
This Blue Jay defensive front 7 is doing a very nice job reading the plays. The Blue Jay coaches, you can tell, had this defense ready for this Manhattan offense. They have coached them well as far as reading their cues, and that's all you can do as a coach is coach the kids exactly. You watch the film, you show them, you let them see it live on the practice field, and then they have to come out and execute that game plan. And right now the Blue Jay defense done a good job of that.
2nd down, snap to Aschenbrenner, keeps it himself on the rush, tried off the right guard, and they stack him up at the 19. Short gain. Basically it's 3rd down 10.
Blue Jay defensive front being a little more aggressive maybe than we've seen this year too. They're getting some penetration. They're staying low. this game, Dewey, at least as of right now, this game's being won in the trenches, depending on whether it's the defensive front or the offensive front on every play, whichever one seems to get, like they always say, the pad level's lower. Manhattan doesn't zone block as much as a traditional block a lot of times, and this Blue Jay defensive front's doing a really nice job against that right now.
3rd down 10, 8:41 to go. First half, 3-0 Junction City. Right hash on the far side. Snap it back. They want to throw. Deep drop in the pocket. Pass over the top. Incomplete. They tried to hit the intended receiver down at about the 12-yard line, and Junction City reacting very well. And now Manhattan facing 4th down, and they're right at the Blue Jay 20-yard line.
Yeah, their quarterback, just a sophomore, Dane Aschenbrenner, does a nice job. He's 5'10", only 158. Pretty good runner, but I would say if there was a weakness for this Manhattan football team, it's their passing game.
All right, they're huddling up. I don't see any thought of a field goal. It'd be a long one, 37-yard attempt if they tried it. So they'll go 4th and 10 right at the 20. It's actually almost 4th and 11 for the Indians. They put one receiver wide left on the near side. Gavin Cohn comes out there, another in the slot. And we get a timeout down on the field. Timeout taken by the Manhattan Indians. We'll pause right here for 30 seconds. We'll be back to Al Simpler Stadium right after this. And welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. Blue Jays lead at 3-0. 8:23 now to go in the first half. Manhattan took the timeout, facing 4th and about 11 from the Blue Jay 20-yard line. And I'm not sure what they'll go with here.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Number one, do they try to get the Blue Jays to jump and then see if they can get 5 yards closer, because they could try that too. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe try and run some kind of an option or even maybe some type of a vertical route.
Here they go. Aschenbrenner takes the snap back at the 25. He's going to drop to throw. Goes over the middle. Pass caught at the 5, down to the 3, down to the 2. They just did a little straight post pattern. They catch it for 1st and goal, Junction City, and that play was drawn up in the huddle. They got the pass completed downfield to Jalen Liggins. Back out of the backfield, all of a sudden, they're just right at the extra point marker.
Yeah, tight end seam is what they ran right there. A nice pass by Aschenbrenner, and even a better catch because he was thrown right a little bit just over the helmet of the receiver. I didn't see who it was, but
Jalen Liggins.
Okay, he did a really nice job catching the football right there.
Here we go, 1st and goal, middle of the field for the Indians. They put 2 in the backfield, actually 3. Quarterback under center, and we get whistles blowing before the snap. I'm not sure who jumped or who was off sides, but
it should be on Manhattan, though, because they wouldn't
have stopped. It is illegal procedure.
Yeah, they wouldn't have stopped play if it was a defensive offside. Manhattan making some unusual penalties tonight. I think a lot of it is they're feeling the emotion of this football game. How can you not? It's a big rivalry. A big deal's been made out of this. This great American rivalry, is here tonight, and it's a big deal. But this Blue Jay defense has done a nice job. If they can keep them out of the end zone right here, that would be huge, and that would be a big momentum for the Blue Jays.
1st and goal for the Indians back at the 8. Blue Jays rushing 4. There's the snap. They go up the gut, inside to about the 5, so gain of 3 that time. Pretty good deception on the handoff in the backfield. I'm still waiting to see who gets up. Looks like Liggins carried the football. Jalen Liggins. He's a 5'11", 168-pound senior. Now 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. He's got 20 yards rushing on the night himself.
Big stand.
It is.
Either way.
2nd down.
Big series.
There's the snap again, rushing play off the left side, and the fullback is near the goal line. He's in. Did he lose the ball?
He got over the line.
The official is signaling touchdown. Randall's out on the field, arms spread way out, saying, what gives here? Ball did come out, but did he get in?
I'll be honest with you.
They're going to talk about it.
That's the right call. Now, first of all, he looked like he had crossed the goal line, and when his hand fell.
Here's the call.
Yeah,
You got it right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know the fans are upset, but I am going to be the first one to tell you, you could see it from up here. When he fell and the football hit the ground and popped out of his hand, it was in the blue. And so that's a touchdown.
All right, it's 6-3. Manhattan goes with the swinging gate on the extra point try. They now lead it for the first time in tonight's ball game. Waiting on the extra point kick. Snap is good. It's on the way, and the kick is up. Just kind of barely got across the crossbar. It wasn't that good of a kick, but Manhattan gets the PAT on the kick. Sean Lang, he also handled kickoff duties tonight, and Manhattan leads this ball game by a score of 7-3 over Junction City, Brian.
Well, and, you know, I mean, we talked about this. Junction City, a couple of squandered opportunities. They did the same thing against Topeka High. They had a chance to maybe put things away early or at least get a big lead. And but here's the key. The Bluejays have to use that as fuel. They have to say, all right, that's fine. Now we're going to punch you back in the mouth. They cannot say, all right, darn it, we let Manhattan score, the mighty Manhattan. The Bluejays have to, right now, focus and get a good drive and get some points right here.
7:07 to go first half. We want to tell you that La Fiesta, Mike's Carpet Warehouse, KS State Bank, Key Office, and Lacer Motors sponsor Junction City Bluejay football. The Indians getting set to kick off for the second time tonight. Antonio Cooper coming in on the kickoff return team. He'll be one of the front men. We've got Tez Brim, Aaron Hamilton, but they're not back very deep, back at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, this Manhattan team, the one thing, they don't kick the ball real far. You just kind of saw that on their extra point kick right there.
Lang to kick from the 40. 7-3 Indians. They do kind of pooch it to the near side, and it's caught at the 26. Now Aaron's got it, comes back up the right side and gets back across the 35, and they gave up some great field position on that kick. It's a 4-yard return. Junction City sets up 1st and 10.
But that just goes to show you how confident Manhattan is, because they'll rather give you the ball at the 35, 40-yard line. You know why? Because they have a really darn good defense.
Yeah,
they have that much confidence in their defense. So they'll kick it over to a corner. They're willing to give you the 35 yards. They just tell their guys, go down there and make the tackle, because your defense is going to come out and do a nice job. But I want to remind everybody, the Bluejays have done a very nice job moving the football. They've got to continue to do that right here.
Rooster Adams calmly walking out to the quarterback spot. They put 3 receivers on the short side of the field. Trips right. Snap to Rooster. Keeps it on the called run, and he's going to get maybe 2 to the 37. He fell forward on the tackle. They had everybody trying to spread the field. Manhattan didn't bite.
No, in fact, that's just good assignment sound football. That's what they do. I will tell you this. When we're having our success is when we just go right at them. When we send Randolph right up the gut at him, or if we just go try and get the edge on the speed option, because right there on that zone read, Manhattan is very good at that. They read it very well, and there was nothing for the Bluejays. Rooster was able to make a couple yards out of nothing right there.
All right, tight formation. 2 in the backfield with Rooster. In motion, Wilkie. They're going to rush off the near side. It's Randolph carrying the football, and he gets it up to the 39, almost to the 40, but never really could break free, and it's going to be a gain of about 2 more. They're looking at 3rd and long.
It's all right, though. All it takes, 3-4 yards of play. 3-4 yards of play. If you can do that against a team like Manhattan, but what the Bluejays really need is to do what they did in the first, quarter and a half or so, and that is big plays to try and take the air out of the Manhattan defense, because I guarantee you they're not going to lose their confidence. They're going to do what they do best, and their coaches instilled in them, do what you do best, you'll prevail, and that's just Manhattan football.
Manhattan Witten, Joel Nieves come in, Russell Wilkie. They spread wide left. 3 receivers, 1 on the near side, Alcorn. Rooster wanting to throw, couldn't. He couldn't get enough time. He was dancing in the backfield, and he's tackled for about a 1-yard loss.
The thing is, though, and the line's got to give him time, because this is aggressive. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm looking to see who that was wide open down the far sideline right there. I think it's is it 21 or 81?
That would be Matthew Witten.
Okay, or was it Goggins maybe?
Matthew Witten.
Oh, it was Witten? Okay, he was wide open on the far sideline. Rooster didn't see him.
Didn't have time to set that time, and now Junction City's got 4th down. We'll probably see a quick kick here. They're set up like they're going to run a play. There's a long count. They're trying to draw Manhattan off sides, and that isn't working. Chris Randolph walks over to the right side of the backfield. They'll reset the offense. Rooster's going to kick it. And it's a high kick, angling to the near side, and goes out of bounds inside the 35 and down to the Manhattan 31-yard line. That is a pretty good kick that time. Goes about 34 yards.
That's good. And get it out of bounds. Don't let them have a chance to return that. Good kick, Rooster.
4:48 to go, first half, 7-3. The Indians have the lead on the Blue Jays in tonight's ball game. Now be sure to listen at the end of tonight's broadcast for the G&B Enterprises Player of the Game, brought to you by G&B Enterprises, providing insurance-approved medical transportation for your next doctor's appointment. We're on the road next week in Topeka at Seaman High School, bringing you Junction City Bluejay football. Manhattan ready to set the offense with a 7-3 lead. They'll spread two receivers out wide right, one wide left on the near side. Blue Jays going to four-down lineman, one stand-up, back to throw. Anschenbrenner near side and threw way behind his intended receiver, Jalen Liggins. That's obviously who they're going to target the most here tonight. He cut in. The ball went the other way.
They ran 4 vertical routes right there, and I think what would look like a choice route maybe for the guy that was on this near side of the field closest to us, it looks like maybe what he was supposed to do was run maybe a deep hitch. But they sent 3 guys deep, 2 down the seam and 1 on the far side, and then on the near side here, it looked like that was a miscommunication. That's who he wanted to throw to, but that's what Manhattan will do. They try to go 4 deep, 3 deep, see if they can catch you in a cover 2 or cover 3, and maybe somebody's wide open.
Twins right, 2 receivers on the far side. The quarterback for the Indians dropping back in the pocket under heavy pressure, throws left side, completes the pass at the 35. Manhattan's going to get it across the 40 or near the first down marker. Looks like they're a foot or 2 short. They hit Liggins again over on the far side. He's the go-to guy for them tonight. And they're going to be 1 yard shy, so it's a 9-yard pass play.
Just a flare underneath the vertical right there. And I'm not so sure that's what they weren't trying to run over here. And they just called it to the other side and ran it again.
All right, 3rd down 1 for the Indians. They break out with Gavin Cohn, wide receiver, wide left. Everybody else in a tight formation. Liggins on the right side, Javon Peoples on the left. They turn, they're going to rush the fullback. First down across the 40. To the 44, and that was pretty much what you would expect. They really wouldn't gamble too much there.
Yeah, because Eric Smith has done a nice job when he does get an opportunity to tackle number 21 McDonald for Manhattan. He's good. He's a good running back. Because Eric Smith, leading tackler for this Blue Jay football team, he is a good linebacker. And so far, Manhattan McDonald is, he's a good running back. But the Blue Jays, if they can slow him down right here, there's 4 minutes left in the second half and keep it close, that'd be good.
Here they go again. McDonald sweep right. 3 Blue Jays there to meet him. He lunges forward with his body, and because of that, he takes it up to the 48. They end up gaining about 3. Looked like they'd stop him for no gain.
Well, that's what I mean about that good balance, though, Dewey. He has really good balance, and when he does get tackled, he leans forward. He makes sure that he tries to lean and try and get those extra yards right there after contact.
All right, here we go. 2nd down for the Manhattan Indians, leading 7-3 over Junction City, late second quarter. Manhattan on their side of the ball, the quarterback behind the fullback rushing. The Blue Jays miss a tackle.
Oh, boy.
He's free up the sideline at the 40, 35, and down to the 31-yard line of Junction City. Manhattan goes for 20 on the play, 1st and 10, and once again now they're moving into Blue Jay territory.
That momentum that the Blue Jays had in the first quarter, they're losing it quickly. They're losing it quickly, and that is because Manhattan, like I said, they'll just wait around. They run their offense, and they just wait, and they wait. And then all of a sudden, something will break, or they'll get a big play, and they'll get some momentum and keep going.
Blue Jays better, so they'll be down a lot at halftime. Pass on the far side. Is it complete out there? It is not at the 28-yard line. Kind of a diving attempt at a catch that time by Cohn. It'll be 2nd down 10 for the Indians. They're getting to 3rd down, and Manhattan's been picking up 10, 11, 12 yards.
But I'll tell you, the fact that they're throwing the football, they don't throw the ball a lot. So that tells me they're not moving the ball as much as they're used to on the ground. And so you're seeing Joe Sharks go to the pass, and I'm a little surprised by that.
All right, 2nd down from the Blue Jay 31-yard line, right hash near the Manhattan side of the field. Snap back to Anschenbrenner. They're going to hand off in the backfield. McDonald sweeps left. Blue Jays miss a tackle. He's wide open, down to 20.
Yeah, flag, though. I think it's a block in the back.
I hope so for Junction City's sake, but he took that ball inside the 15. He had guys just diving at him, not hitting him low, and that's what you got to do in a big guy like that to make the stop. This is coming back. You can tell Manhattan heading back upfield, and the Blue Jays may have caught a break here.
And we'll have to see what the call was, but Manhattan, uncharacteristic mistakes, I think for 2 reasons, though. One is this Blue Jay defensive front, in fact, the front 7 for the Blue Jays are flying all over the place tonight. And I think Manhattan's a little surprised by the Blue Jays team speed, Dewey. I really do.
2:58 remaining first half, Brian. I think it's essential for Junction City to keep them out of the end zone before halftime.
Well, this is big. I mean, that's a big penalty right there. They're now
35-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, instead of being inside the 20, in fact, instead of being about the 12-yard line, they're back at the, what is that, the 30, was it the 35-yard line?
All right, we got Liggins wide right, Gavin Cohn wide right. They put Peoples in motion that direction. Ansenbrenner wants to throw. Throws out in the right flat, completes the pass to Peoples, just shy of the 30. He carries the defense inside the 30, down to the 29. Not a big gain, about 2 yards, maybe 3. And Manhattan still looking at 3rd and long with 2:40 and the clock ticking down here in the second quarter.
That is an outstanding open field tackle by Albert Caba. Looking at what we had, it looked like Albert Caba was going to switch to play the nickel linebacker and Darren Batiste was going to play the Sam linebacker tonight. If that's the way they started the game, that's not the way they're lined up right now.
All right, 3rd down, 8 for the Indians. And we've got wind picking up here at Al Simpler Stadium.
In fact, it looks like Caba's playing a safety right now.
Manhattan's confused on offense, and they're going to have to take a timeout. They didn't know their play. Javon Peoples is dancing all over the place. Jalen Liggins came way out to the near side, and we do have a timeout here. Right now in the first half, 2 minutes, 16 seconds to go. The Indians lead the Blue Jays 7-3. Junction City got on the board first on a field goal by Jaden Kell. Manhattan countered, scoring a touchdown, and that's the only scoring. The Blue Jays twice tonight, first half, have been inside the Indians' 5 and had a fumble once, lost it at the goal line, and the second time had to settle for a field goal. And that's painful right now, Brian.
It is. With the Blue Jays going with a 4-3, what they've done is they've got Darren Batiste. He is playing the strong safety spot, it looks like, tonight, instead of playing that or that nickel linebacker position.
All right, timeout down on the field. Mike Hillstab will be our guest tonight. His class, 2008, having their class reunion. They're going back to 1968, 1978, 1998 tonight. A lot of folks coming in for this ball game. Now Manhattan ready to go. 3rd down. We'll call it 8. Just inside the Blue Jay 30 from the right hash on the far side. The Indians going to snap it near side, rushing play, and they miss the tackle. They're inside the 20, down to the 18. That was just a quick run to the near side by Cohn. His first carry tonight, he came right to left, took the handoff, and the Blue Jays didn't react very well. Manhattan's got the first down now at the 17-yard line.
No, they did a nice job getting a block on the defensive end on that side right there. They sealed that edge, and Blue Jay linebackers just weren't able to get there quick enough, and that's what Manhattan can do. Thing is, though, 2:05, clock ticking. Blue Jays really, obviously, they need to keep him out of the end zone right here.
Jalen Liggins, wide right. Here's McDonald, fullback. He spins out of one tackle, and they hit him from behind. Good effort that time by the Blue Jays. They stop him for a short gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. They're stopping that stuff, but to get out to the edge, and that's where Manhattan's doing damage.
Yeah, Smith and Caba did a really nice job right there, and Terrence Crumpton, 3 Blue Jays in on the tackle. The one thing I like, though, about this is when you do see a lot of tackles inside the box, it's 3-4 Blue Jays making the tackle. They're reading this very, very well.
All right, 2nd down. We'll call it 8
Flex
for the
bone.
Indians. They put one in motion, right to left, back to throw, Ansenbrenner, and he's going to scramble and get it back to the 15. I think he wanted to pitch and just didn't have anybody back there, so he turned it up and ran and picked up about 3.
Well, you saw the Blue Jays get some penetration right there. In fact, for the Blue Jays, I need to look at Arturo Chavez. He's playing defensive tackle. They're running Arturo Chavez and Terrence Crumpton at tackles. And they've got Cooper and Nolan Rothfuss. Antonio Cooper and Nolan Rothfuss playing defensive ends. Like I said, they're staying with that 4-man front. Let's see if they go. Looks like they might go to a 3-man right here. We'll have to see what they do. Blue Jays mixing things up. Nope, they're going to stay with the 4-man front.
3rd down, 7 for the Indians from the Blue Jay 15-yard line. Peoples in motion, whistles before the play can unfold.
Somebody called timeout.
Going to have to wait and see. The officials are talking with 2 players, one from Junction City, one from Manhattan.
Oh, we took one there.
Junction City took a timeout. This is a big play for the Blue Jays in the ballgame.
It is. In fact, I'll be honest with you, Dewey. I'm a little surprised that we're 7-3 going in, looks like anyway, unless Manhattan can score. 7-3 going in at the half. I would not have predicted that. I thought maybe things would be a little higher scoring at the end of the first half. But I'll be honest with you, that plays well for the Blue Jays, because if the Blue Jays can come out with that fire and that momentum that they had in the first quarter, like I said, by all rights, the Blue Jays should be up 14-7 right now.
But I'll tell you what, they can't get it back.
No, they can't. And so what you've got to do, you're exactly right. Come out here and play like you played in the first quarter and the third quarter. See if you can set the tone for the second half.
They came out emotional, fired up tonight, and that showed in their favor early in the ball game. And they've executed pretty well overall. They missed some tackles here in the second, which has hurt, but Manhattan's got a good football team. All right, here we go. Timeout complete. Ball at the 15 of Junction City. 3rd down 7. Brenner back to it's Liggins. They throw over the middle. The pass picked off. Interception by Junction City. Now can they bring it back? It's Aaron Hamilton. He's always a speedster, waited on a blocker. Had he darted through the seam, I think he could have taken it 20 yards upfield. He waited instead of turning on the Jets, and that kid's got him.
They do, but what's kind of tough about that right there, that's a huge play. Gosh darn, I wish he could have gotten a little more yardage. Maybe we could get some points out of this. We got
35-yard line of Junction City is where they're at.
So here's the thing, though. What makes that tough is you've got a lot of defenders out there trying to block, and that's something that they're not used to doing. So when you've got a defensive front trying to block for you like an offensive front, that makes it kind of tough. But Aaron got what he could out of it, and that's huge. That's big.
All right, we got 33.9 seconds left in the half. Both teams had a turnover deep inside what we call the red zone for the other team. Now the Blue Jays come out. Matthew Whitten goes wide left, as does Joel Nieves. Russell Wilkie's on the left side, so trips left. Rooster's in there. Behind him, Chris Randolph. Ethan Alcorn's wide right on the near side. Just the 5-down lineman. Corbin Sander will grab the football from the 35-yard line. He's the center. Rooster trying to get everybody set. And they call a timeout, Junction City. Rooster appeared to have some confusion. They threw a penalty flag down on the field. They weren't ready to go there.
Yeah, we're going to get the delay. Chris Randolph did a great job recognizing the clock and trying to call timeout. He just didn't get it in time. That's unfortunate. I think the coaches were just trying to make sure. What they're doing is they're lining up, seeing how Manhattan lines up and calling the play from the sideline. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get it called fast enough.
Right.
That's on the coaches right there.
Rooster ready to go back at the 25, shotgun set. There's the snap to the senior. Looking left, tucks it and runs. Off the right side. Wants to throw on the sideline. Doesn't. Runs out of bounds at the 32. He got a little bit on the play, about 2 yards.
Ethan did
stop the clock, too.
Ethan did exactly what he's supposed to do right there, though. He saw his quarterback was in trouble. We talk about this all the time. When you're running a route and you see your quarterback scrambling and in trouble, you come back to the football. Ethan did a great job. Rooster saw that he was coming back, but he also read that defender was crashing with him. And so that was actually a pretty good choice right there, I think, by Rooster to not throw the football. But, 2nd down, and what are we, about 12 here? 27 seconds on the clock.
All right, they got Randolph in the backfield behind Rooster. Trips left, one receiver, Alcorn. That's his real go-to guy on the near side. 7-3 Manhattan, latter stage of the second quarter. They hand it to snap to Rooster. He's going to run it up the side at the 40. 45, a tackle at the 46. He did get a first down, stopping the clock with 20.8 seconds remaining in the first half.
They're going to have to get something set, though. It would have been nice for him to get out of bounds right there. A senior quarterback kind of knows he needs to probably go ahead and try and get to the sideline right there.
Here we go, same formation. Trips left, one on the near side, Alcorn. They snap back to Rooster. Same play, he's going to race it. Veers outside this time at the 45. Hit, stop, no gain. Can't get out of bounds. They do have a timeout remaining. Randall, furious, out on the field, pointing to the official. I don't think you like the way Rooster was taken down on the tackle.
We're going to let the clock run out, though, in the arguing here. That's unfortunate.
Yep. Officials are talking. They did call a timeout.
I think Randall was yelling.
Heading off the field.
Randall was yelling at two different things right there. One, he wanted the clock stopped. And two, I think you're right, he's upset about something. I'm not sure what, but why didn't the clock stop? Yeah, they're going to put some time back on the clock.
They're going to give them another play. Manhattan had started off the field. They're coming back.
There is no timeout.
Well, now they came back, and now they're all leaving.
Yeah, Coach Zimmerman's going to have his say before he leaves. He's going to have his say before he leaves.
Yeah, there's been some issues again.
Well, and I don't want to be critical of the officials because I think they're doing everything they can, but I to try and get things right. But I will tell you, we have seen an incredible amount of officials conferences this year, and what that tells me is a couple of things. One is they want to make sure they get it right and they talk about it. The other thing is, though, are they not as confident in their calls? I'm a little surprised. Don't throw the flag if you're not confident in what you're seeing out there.
Manhattan 7, Junction City 3. We have reached halftime. Stay tuned for the Junction City Abstract and Title Halftime Show on 1420 KJCK right after this.
The Student Council of Junction City High School is proud to have sponsored this year's homecoming events. We're also proud to have the class reunions of classes 1968, 1966, 1998, and 2008 in attendance with us tonight. At this time, we would like to recognize any and all Junction City High School alumni in the audience. Please stand at this time.
And we've reached halftime on the Talk of JC. You're listening to the Junction City Abstract and Title Halftime Show here tonight. Interview with Mike Hillstab, member of the class of 2008, coming up in just a few minutes. Brian, we'll let you get the headphones back on and your perception of the first two quarters.
Well, real quick, they were recognizing the alumni that were here from Junction City High School. They all stood, a lot of alumni here tonight. Of course, this class is 68, 78, 98, and 2008.
66 and 2008.
Oh,
66, 68, 78,
wow.
98, 2008.
And my mom was in the class of 66, and so she wouldn't have probably missed this one. But anyway, so real quick, the Blue Jays came out on fire, and unfortunately, a turnover at the goal line, and then a missed pitch down here, a poor pitch, and that cost the Blue Jays. Really, they should have 14 points. They got away with 3. We'll take those 3 points, 7-3. Manhattan. Typical Manhattan. They're just going to wait for you to make a mistake. They're going to capitalize on it. But I think the one thing I've seen, I think Manhattan's a little bit surprised by the Blue Jay team's speed. Not just offensively, defensively. That defensive front has been really creating a little bit of havoc, and I like the fact that Coach Zimmerman's come out and run a 4-3. We saw them run the 4-3 a little bit last week against Highland Park, and that was in preparation. I think a lot of it was because of what Highland Park was running, but some of it's in preparation for this Manhattan team and the fact that they like the flex bone. When they're lining up in the flex bone, Blue Jays are coming at them with a 4-3, and that defensive front, and I just want to mention their names, Dewey, because they're doing a really good job. Arturo Chavez and Terrence Crumpton are lining up at defensive tackles. They've got Nolan Rothfuss and Antonio Cooper playing defensive ends, and those front four are having a whale of a game. And then you throw your linebackers in there. You've got Kazarick Smith, Baylor Wilkie, and Albert Caba doing a great job. The Blue Jay front seven's playing very, very well against this Manhattan offense.
Manhattan 7, Junction City 3 at halftime. You're listening to the Junction City Abstract and Title Halftime Show. More coming up after this, a visit with 2008 JCHS graduate Michael Hillstab right after this.
The daughter of Giselle Falkamp and Brad Wilson. She is escorted by Hector Nieves, standing in for Jojo Nieves, the son of Damaris and Hector Nieves. Soraya White, the daughter of Letitia and Santini White. She is escorted by Alejandro Ramos, son of Gladys and Alejandro Ramos. Sarah Taylor, the daughter of Carmelita and Patrick Taylor. She is escorted by Nick Spellman, the son of Renee Spellman. And the senior candidates are Caitlin Kraft, the daughter of Jennifer and David Kraft. She is escorted by Denzel Achampong, the son of Joyce Amwa and Ulysses Achampong. Elizabeth Rowe, the daughter of Crystal and Calvin Rowe. She is escorted by Nico Paradas, the son of Natalie Masonette. Emma Schroeder, the daughter of Shannon and Lauren Schroeder. She is escorted by Creighton Sanner, standing in for Corbin Sanner. The son of Judy and Troy Sanner. How's it going? Pretty good. How are you? Here are your 2018 Fall Homecoming candidates. Crowning this year's royalty is 2017 Homecoming Queen Chloe Brass. Assisting Chloe are Leah Brown.
And welcome back to the Junction City Abstract and Title Halftime Show here on the Talk of JC. We're in the Central National Bank broadcast booth tonight. Joining me, the president of the class of 2008 at Junction City High School, Mike Hildstab. I'd play Hail to the Chief. I didn't bring the music, so sorry, but good evening anyway.
Thanks for having me here, Dewey.
Hey, I saw you out at the groundbreaking today for the high school. What are your thoughts? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting as somebody that went to this high school 10 years ago. What an opportunity for the city of Junction City. Absolutely the envy of the state, envy of military installations that deal with school districts all over the country. Being able to build a high school with this kind of financial opportunity, just a really neat thing for Junction City.
I know you were kind of looking around. That's a lot of room out there. They got 160 acres. They got 38 here.
Yeah, that's an outrageous amount of room. It's exciting to see what these new schools do. A lot different than what we're used to here, but it's going to be a great place for a school. I imagine there's some good sunrises and good sunsets as well.
Does it seem like it's been 10 years?
It depends on the day you ask me. Some days it feels like it's been 20, and some days it feels like it was yesterday.
What do you remember from your senior year?
Tonight brings back a lot of memories. I'm sitting with a number of my friends here in the stands. A lot of these guys were on the field. A lot of them were in the stands with me. These games were probably what sticks out the most. A lot of great relationships built here in Junction City.
10 years ago, you didn't do interviews this smooth. You've done a few, haven't you?
I have done a few. I probably would have lost my voice, and you wouldn't have been able to understand me 10 years ago from yelling a little too much at these games.
Tell us what you're doing now.
I currently work in Wichita. I work for U.S. Senator Jerry Moran. I work on military and Veterans Affairs issues for him. It's a great honor. I get to come back to Junction City, usually back here a few times a month. It's nice to see Mom and Dad, see my family, get to eat lunch with Grandpa, but better yet, get to work and assist people in this area.
Went to Kansas State, I believe. You studied political science, is that right?
That's exactly right.
Remembered that from a few years ago. Your class is here. Tell us how this all got put together.
Sure, absolutely. So again, I was a class president. Something that's been kind of coming up, just looming. It's kind of hard to believe that 10 years was finally coming up, but about a year ago I realized that probably need to start putting things together. Fortunately, in the year 2017, 2018, technology is my friend. We were able to get a lot of people on a Facebook group, put things together, worked pretty closely with Matt Westerhouse for the last 7 or 8 months. And it really went pretty seamlessly, and I've had a decent crowd here. Sat with some friends that flew in from the East Coast just for this weekend, so really special time.
This is good experience for you, because I don't know if anyone told you when they elected you president. We do this in my class. The president forever has to do the reunions, the senior class president. That's
what I was told. I didn't realize I was totally signing my life away at that time when I was 17 running for that position, but I'm glad I did it. It's been fun, and like I said, technology's made this job way easier than previous years, and it's really something I enjoy, getting to see people that I haven't seen in 10 years, a lot of them.
That's why I ran for vice president. All right. Now, what are the activities? You just visit or mingle, or what's going on here?
So this evening we started visiting probably about 6 or so, about an hour before the game. There was probably 30 or so of us down on the east end zone, just getting to catch up. A lot of us, we've seen each other many times over the past few years, and some of us we haven't seen in 10 years. So we mingle a little bit tonight, get to catch the game. I'm sure a number of us will get together this evening after the game, whether it be at someone's parents' house or who knows, at coaches or so on. Tomorrow we're going to do a school tour at 10 a.m. with some of the previous teachers and administrators we had. And then following that, we're going to have a little get-together tomorrow evening at the Elks Lodge. So just a perfect weekend for people to get back home.
That's a lot of fun. Who are some of the folks in your class?
Yeah, so my class, some of my tight-knit group, we had Brandon Ramos, Josh Hubbard, Colby Cam. Those were probably my close buddies, and I can think of those names right off the top of my head because they're sitting with me over here in the stands.
Josh and Colby were football guys, good ones.
They were good athletes, much better than me. I was not known for being an athlete by any means, but it's been fun to watch.
You played some basketball.
I played a little basketball. I mostly rode the bench. I was pretty good at that. I got pretty good at getting water, but I enjoyed being on the team.
It's a lot of fun. It's the camaraderie that matters.
That's exactly right, and those guys, that's how we became friends. Josh and Colby and I. We met probably in 6th grade playing ball together. Some of those guys went to Sheridan together. And
has it dawned on you we're just a couple of years away from football moving out of this facility?
Hard to believe. My family played at this school. My brother was a sophomore, I believe, on the state championship team in 2008.
He was.
My uncles played football here at this stadium. My older brother played when he was younger in high school. So a lot of memories here. It'll be an interesting day. I'm sure very bittersweet.
Your grandfather went to Rayford Field, maybe not opening day, but he was there constantly as part of the Knothole gang. He's told me about that. he's the guy I go to if I really want to know Rayford Field history.
That's exactly right. And Grandpa still around, still living in Junction City, and loves to talk about those memories at Rayford Field. Graduated Junction City High School. My grandmother, who was married to him for 60-plus years, was also a Junction City High School graduate, and I believe she was at the first game at Rayford Stadium, and she was sharp as a tack and knew every detail about that building and everything in Junction City.
Marilyn Hellstab, Kay Hellstab. Marilyn was at the first game. She told me that during her lifetime.
That's exactly right.
It's pretty cool. You got a lot of history in your family.
Absolutely.
All right. What's in the future for you?
For right now, I absolutely love being able to work on behalf of Kansas, work at the pleasure of Senator Moran, and again, there's not much that I enjoy more than assisting veterans, and especially when they happen to be back here in Geary County.
You never know what'll happen, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to run for office someday?
That's the $1,000,000 question. I don't know. It's an interesting world in politics. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to serve the people in my community. But, the political world is much different than what it was a number of years ago and when I got interested in politics. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
You're in Wichita. I see you here all the time when there's senators around. But do you get to go to Washington at all?
I do. I usually go up a few times a year. I'm actually going up there Sunday afternoon. I've got a flight to Washington, D.C. I'll be joining a lot of the folks from right here in Junction City, Manhattan, Fort Leavenworth area for AUSA. So I try to avoid that place as much as I can. I'd certainly rather be back here in Kansas, but I do get to go out there a couple times a year.
Yeah, you're with Junction City folks at AUSA, though.
That's exactly right. Good to be with people I know.
All right. Well, tell the senator I said hello.
Happy to do so.
He's
Thanks,
a good guy. All right. Mike Hillstab has been our guest at halftime. A really good interview. We'll take a break, and we'll be back on the Junction City Abstract and Title Show right after this. And welcome back here at halftime to the Junction City Abstracts and Titles Show. And I do need to touch on the homecoming royalty. They have been crowned here at halftime, as in the background, the Junction City Bluejay Marching Band is performing here at Al Simpler Stadium. We'll start with the freshman class. The Princess, Amaya Rohan, and the freshman prince is Demarion Sellers. For the sophomores, the Princess, Jocelyn Luke, the Prince, Blake Reed. In the junior class, the Princess, Saria White, the junior Prince, one of the football players, JoJo Nieves. And the senior 2018 fall homecoming queen, Emma Schrader, and the king, and he's having a big night, folks, Corbin Sanner, the offensive center for the Blue Jays. He received a Great American Rivalry Scholarship before the ball game, and Creighton Center, they've got it wrong here on our page. Okay, we're going to clear this up. They got some info here. it is Corbin Sanner who is the king. Creighton Sanner stood in for him here at Al Simpler Stadium tonight. So let's make that very clear. Corbin is the king, and he's having a big night. He received a scholarship before the ball game from the Great American Rivalries. Emma Schrader is the senior class homecoming queen. And Brian Fields having the best halftime he's had all year. Beef brisket, macaroni and cheese, and all the fixings being served here by coaches.
I had to go back for seconds, Adam, and the people that coaches, they spoil us with these pregame meals, and I didn't get a chance to eat a whole lot before the game. We were kind of rushing around with all the festivities, and so I took some time after my little restroom break to stop in there and get some seconds. This is incredible brisket, macaroni and cheese. You're right. Corbin Center is having an incredible night. He has the highest GPA on the Bluejay football team, so that is why he got the scholarship. He is the homecoming king, and he is doing a marvelous job against a really good nose guard right now for Manhattan. So you're right, Corbin's having a great game. The thing is, the Bluejays, by all rights, should be up in this ball game. They outplayed Manhattan in the first half. They did. We did the same thing against Topeka High. So if the Bluejays can come out and carry that momentum, get to see my cousin here. Cousin Josh Hubbard caught up me, brought his son Liam up to see me real quick here. And Liam is how old now? He'll be a year next week. So anyway, Josh, of course, back for homecoming. He played football here at Junction City High School, was a linebacker, wore number 10, graduated in 2008, so his last season was in the fall of 2007. But real quick, if the Bluejays, this is important. They had Manhattan on their heels. Not too many teams have done that this year. I've watched them on film. I've watched their games. Manhattan is incredibly patient, like we talked about, an incredible defense, but I think they have been surprised by the Bluejay team speed. The Bluejays came out and really played well. This offensive line is having a whale of a game against a very good defensive front for Manhattan. We've talked about how this offensive line's gotten better each week. They're really playing well. But I think the key is for the Bluejays, they've got to come out and continue to use that team speed. I'd like to see us throw the ball downfield a couple of times because we've had receivers open and Rooster didn't get a chance to see him because of that pressure. If we can just get a big pass play, we know we're capable of it. Hamilton can break one. I'd love to see us throw the football. But I think the difference in this ball game, the Bluejays have gone from a 3-4 back to the defense I think they played mostly when Josh was here, the 4-3. Coach Zimmerman calls it the tough. Great defense. It's worked very well tonight. The Bluejay front seven is playing well, and this defensive front is playing incredibly well. And I do think that the Manhattan offense has been surprised by how quick this defensive front is.
All right, Brian, I'll let you eat your brisket. We got about 6 minutes left until the end of halftime as the Bluejays trail the Manhattan Indians 7-3. I want to talk about the post-game championship situation as far as trophies are concerned tonight. The Great American Rivalry Series, the U.S. Marines will recognize the winning school with a trophy, and that will occur in postgame. They'll also announce their MVP. If you're wondering who these folks are, the Great American Rivalry Series is headquartered in Lexington, Kentucky. Last week, they attended a Friday night football game that had 26,000 fans in Louisville, Kentucky. They've been at games with as many as 42,000 at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. We've been there a couple times when Kansas State played in college bowl games. They would like to make this Junction City Manhattan Series an annual event and maybe next year carry it live on their Facebook. And they're talking about that. I had a chance to visit with their executive director today. He is the former director of K-State ROTC. That was his last duty assignment in the Army. He was lieutenant colonel, so he lived in Manhattan for 4 years and knew all about Junction City, Manhattan. This game really is among some of the big high school rivalry football games being touted by this organization. Our first experience with them, the American Rivalry Series champion. Manhattan's still in the locker room tonight. The Bluejays are back out on the field. Here comes Manhattan. They get a mandatory 3-minute warm-up, and then they get things started. Of course, we'll go to the third quarter here in just a short time. We hope you've enjoyed the Junction City Abstract and Title Show here tonight at Al Simpler Stadium. Look ahead at what's coming tomorrow. Kansas State football at Baylor in Waco. 12:30 pregame, 2:30 kickoff. And then we'll be at Seaman High School in Topeka Friday as the Bluejays play the Seaman Vikings. That'll be a 6:30 broadcast time next Friday night and a 7 o'clock kickoff. Post game tonight, we've got Bluejay coach Randall Zimmerman And that's all to come as part of the activities. Junction City has been out on the field quite a while. You have to wonder, will they be as focused as they were at the start of the ball game, Brian? I think, to me, that's a key question.
Well, and I think you're right. The Blue Jays, man, they came out fired up. That is as fired up as I've seen a Blue Jay football team in a while. And these guys were ready to play. Unfortunately, two things. They fumbled on the goal line going in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, or at the end of the first quarter, they had a chance down here on a pitch play, and the pitch was behind the running back. They lost about 13 yards on the play. But Manhattan has been a little surprised, I think, by this Blue Jay team speed. On the other hand, though, Manhattan's patient. We talked about this. They are patient. They're going to wait for you to make mistakes and pounce. And if it takes until the fourth quarter for you to make that mistake, they just kind of hang around. They keep the ball game close, and then they take advantage of it at the end. And we've seen it numerous times over the years. That is Joe Shart's football. It has been very successful. Joe Shart's in his time is 6-3 versus Junction City in his time at Manhattan, and he is 78-19 overall, and this is his 10th year at Manhattan. He's had a lot of success. Now, doesn't make it deep into the playoffs. That's probably the one criticism. But when you're getting, 8-3, 10-1, 9-2 seasons consistently every year, you're doing something right. And Joe Shartz has done a nice job instilling his program at Manhattan football, and has kind of brought that tradition back. Manhattan had some down years, but he's been very successful with them and brought that program back to prominence. And the last few years now, they've had a lot of success against Junction City. Junction City won 3 out of 4, I believe it was, at the beginning of the decade. But Manhattan has kind of taken over here the last few years.
I want to make mention of what's going on down on the field. The Great American Rivalry is inducting a prominent alum or person from the school into their Hall of Fame. For Junction City, that choice is former quarterback Ty Zimmerman. His wife is accepting the trophy because Ty is the Blue Jay defensive coordinator. And an old friend's down there on the field, former Manhattan High coach Lou Lane, and that's a neat thing to see down there. Back in the day, when Al Simper was coaching, one of my key jobs was get the post-game film at that time, not video, and take it to Lou's house late on a Friday night and put it in his mailbox. I made sure to never mess that up. You don't want Al Simper and Lou Lane both running around after you.
Dude, I've been telling you for years, I still think you ought to write a book because between your stories about Blue Jay football and being here in Junction City, growing up in Burr Oak, Kansas, and some of the stories, you have to write a book. I'm gonna work on that with you.
We had a rivalry like this, Burr Oak and Esmond. This is just a big version of it. Everybody knows everybody, and you don't want to lose to them.
Well, and I think, too, like you were saying, when you kind of talk about these things, but this is a big rivalry. It's a big game. And when you look at the Manhattan tradition, I played against Lou Lane's teams back in the 80s. He was the head coach of Manhattan when I was playing football here at Junction City High School. Very similar. They're not doing things a whole lot different than they did
just good defense
30 years ago. I mean, good defense, very disciplined running game. Throw the football a little bit. That has been Manhattan's way of playing football. And, that's something Joe Shartz has just continued. And that is the Manhattan way. Very smart kids at Manhattan, good football IQ, very disciplined, make very few mistakes. I will say the Manhattan's made some uncharacteristic mistakes, some big penalties in this game. A couple of holding penalties, some offsides in some big situations. But Manhattan is very physical. Very similar as far as how physical their defenses is to Topeka High. The difference is Manhattan stays within themselves, and they hit you hard and play very physical, nothing malicious, but it's just the way that they play football. It's their style. Topeka high energy, like to hit you hard, but high energy. Manhattan stays within themselves, and they're very composed on the football field.
All right, the Blue Jays getting set to kick off here. It's Manhattan 7, Junction City 3. If you're wondering about Joe Shartz, he was a pretty good high school quarterback in Dodge City. Played for a guy named Dick Masterson, who used to coach with Ron Hill in the Dodge City days. Now Junction City getting set to kick off. Jaden Kell will boot it from the 40. They've chosen the left side hash off the tee. Manhattan does not have anybody back behind the 15-yard line. And here we go. Third quarter is underway, and oh boy, we got a penalty flag before Jaden even got up to the football.
What now?
Is in the area behind the Blue Jay offense where they were kicking off, or the kickoff team, I should say. Illegal formation.
2, 3, 4, 5,
5-yard penalty against the Blue Jays.
How do you have an illegal formation on a kickoff team?
Somebody
Just
do
out of
something? I
curiosity,
don't know.
As long as everybody's behind the kicker and you don't have too many men on the field. I don't understand what
So-
an illegal formation is in a kickoff team.
Blue Jays have to kick off from the 35-yard
Everybody's
line.
behind the line. They don't have to be behind the kicker. They have to be behind the line, I should say. As long as they're all behind the line.
Well, I don't
That's
think
bizarre.
this particular penalty hurts them because it's a kickoff. All right, here we go. Kell will back up 12 yards behind the football. 7-3 Manhattan as we'll try to get the third quarter started. There it is. Wind whirling around Al Simpler Stadium. The kickoff down to the 17.
Bobbled
Dropped
it.
by Manhattan. They're going to run it back. The Blue Jays kind of let up a minute, and they bring the ball back across the 30 to the 31. A 14-yard return that time for the Manhattan Indians carrying the football. They take a pretty good return, and now Manhattan's got a good chance to set up with good field position.
Yeah, but that was actually better kickoff coverage by Junction City. So real quick, you're talking about Dick Masters and Joe Schartz. We had a chance to talk to Jeff Tanner, who's the principal of the Freshman Success Academy here. He coached Joe Schartz in basketball at Dodge. Of course, Dick Masters, I played against Dick Masters' Dodge football teams. They were very good, but he said that Joe Schartz was very aggressive football or basketball player, but a very good one, and worked very, very hard, but was very disciplined, and that's what you see out of his football teams.
Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Indians. Dana Aschenbrenner hands off in the backfield. That big fullback is dropped for a 1-yard loss. They tried to sweep left, and Kevontae McDonald wrestled down by the Blue Jays. Very important here the next 3 to 4 minutes for Junction City. You get them stopped, you get on the board, and this game is definitely up for grabs tonight here at Simpler.
I really like the 4-man front that the Blue Jays have chosen to use. I think they're still in that. Looks like it's, or did they maybe change things? Nope. Did they switch back? Nope, they're still running that 4-man front. We'll talk about those front four. They've done a nice job for the Blue Jays tonight.
2nd down. Aschenbrenner takes the snap.
Oh, wow.
Handoff. They try to go left side, and McDonald spins out of a couple tackles, gets up to the 33, so gains about 3 on the play.
Right there, 3 Blue Jay defensive linemen were in the backfield disrupt. They are keeping their pad level low. Old school defensive line play by the Blue Jays. They're just going straight forward, giving Manhattan some of their own medicine, keeping that pad level low. But that defensive front for the Blue Jays has been pretty impressive. And who they are, we've talked about it for the game. Terrence Crumpton's playing a defensive tackle. Arturo Chavez is playing a defensive tackle. You got Nolan Rothfuss at D end, and you've got Antonio Cooper at D end, and those front four are doing a great job.
All right, 3rd down, 8 for the Indians. Back to throw, Aschenbrenner, deep pocket, over the top, intercepted. At the 42-yard line, Junction City goes up and gets it. Baylor Wilkie, the senior, grabbed it out of the air, stuck his big left paw up and pulled it in, and the Blue Jays take over. 1st and 10 at the Manhattan 42.
You know what's most impressive about that, though? He plucked that out of the air like a wide receiver. I mean, Baylor Wilkie is a good-sized kid. He's a middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker for the Blue Jays. And like you said, that was pure reaction.
Baylor knows how to handle the football. He spent the past 3 years
as a
carrying the
fullback.
ball as a fullback. Now here comes Junction
You're right.
City.
But that was pure reaction, total reaction right there. He didn't have time to do anything but react.
All right, they're going to set the offense with Rooster Adams. Devin Sharpstein's in the backfield. Coming in for Junction City, Luke Hughes playing on the right side. On the near side of the slot, Russell Wilkie. 2 in the backfield. Rooster turns, they're going to run the ball. 1st down rush inside the 40, down to the 37 by Chris. Looks like Randolph carried the ball, and Junction City's going to gain about 5 on 1st down.
The Blue Jay offensive line, we've talked about it, doing a nice job, but they're opening up some good holes. What's making a difference, I think Manhattan has really expected Russell Wilkie to carry the ball a lot tonight, and I do not think they expected this out of Chris Randolph. But we
They
haven't
didn't
seen
know
this
about
this year.
Chris Randolph.
Well, we haven't seen him a lot this year. You know, Chris, it finished the season strong last year, had some different things going on, but now he's out here playing a great football game tonight.
Snap to Rooster, pitch off to Randolph on the near side, around the 40, up the sideline, 35, and pushed out of bounds pretty hard. He's shy of the 1st down, about 2. So it'll be 3rd down coming up, and I would venture, Brian, right now that Junction City, as close as they are, would probably go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, and we've seen this out of the, well, yeah, you're too far for a field goal, and you probably don't want to punt right here. And the Blue Jay defense has done a nice job. So I would go for it right here.
Right now it's 3rd down, long 2. Ball just inside the 35. Left hash on the near side. Ethan Alcorn spreads out wide to the right. All right, the Blue Jays set the offense. They snap it to Rooster. Rushing play. Randolph hard up the right side. He's got the 1st down. Keeping the legs turning. Down to the 30. That's a 5-yard pickup by that man. 1st and 10, Junction City.
You know what? Chris Randolph's healthy.
Yeah.
He is healthy.
That is the difference. We have seen him run the football a little bit this year, but not like we did at the end of the season last year. We needed somebody to step up. We've talked about it. Take some pressure off. You know, Russell's been the leading rusher on this team, but he's also carried the ball far more than anybody else. Second leading rusher is your quarterback, Rooster. We needed somebody to step up. We've been talking about it for several games. Tonight, Chris Randolph is stepping up.
First and 10, 30-yard line. They come near side, pitch back on the option. Randolph's going to be wrapped up for a big loss, too, back at the 35-yard line, 34 we'll call it. That time Manhattan was there waiting, and Randolph rolling around on the ground now gets up. He took some pretty hard shots there.
That was outstanding defense, though, right there. That's what Manhattan does. That was very assignment sound. They read that option all the way. Looked like a speed option, and they read it and knew what was coming, did a good job stopping it.
Randolph is out. Joel Nieves now back in the ball game. I think that's a good substitution right there. Give him a playoff.
Well,
all right, here we go. Second down, 15 for the Bluejays as they come out of the huddle. Coming in at tight end, Luke Hughes will be on the left side. We haven't seen a tight end until this game for the Bluejays this year. All right, Rooster sets. Two receivers wide right. They snap the ball, rushing right up the middle. And they're going to Aaron Sharpstein down to the 33. And all of a sudden now, it's going to be third down and 13 for the Junction City Bluejays.
Tried to throw him off a little bit right there by going to Sharpstein up the middle.
Sharpstein's hurt.
Yeah, he'll be all right, though. He's a tough kid. Maybe sprained his ankle. He's going to walk that off. Been impressed with Sharpstein tonight. He's a guy that's been pretty fired up. Hopefully they can get him healthy. Maybe he just kind of sprained that ankle just a little bit. But I'll tell you, right now, of course, Coach Zimmerman talking to Rooster, this is kind of a big possession. I know it's early in the third quarter, but I feel like it's important for Blue Jay momentum right here. They need to get a first down, see if they can sustain this drive.
Nieves goes wide right, and they've got Aaron Hamilton out there now. Wilkie goes in motion. Timeout, Blue Jays. They weren't set right. Coach not happy with his team. They did not know this play. This is something new they put in.
But the thing about it is, this is why you do not want to have to use that timeout right now.
Yeah.
Because this is a close football game, and a lot of Blue Jay games have come down to the wire. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you some scores. 2009, it was 9-7. 2010, 21-14. 2011, 28-20. 34-33 in 2012. 2013 was 16-10. 2014 was 16-7. 2015, an overtime game that was 17-14. 27-22 in 2016. Last year, Manhattan won 42-12. That's the only lopsided game that there has been since Joe Schartz has been at Manhattan. And yes, he's 6-3 against Randall Zimmerman and the Junction City Blue Jays, but there's always been very, very close games, and that timeout right there, let's hope that doesn't come back to haunt the Blue Jays in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left in a close ball game.
Manhattan 7, Junction City 3. The Blue Jays want to get their offense right. It's third and long, third and almost 13. Aaron Hamilton, Joel Nieves, and Russell Wilkie wide right. Ethan will come wide left, and Randolph is in the backfield with Rooster Adams, the center. Blue Jays playing left hash on the near side, 33-yard line. There's the snap. Rooster wants to throw. Flushed out of the pocket to the right. Going to heave it. This is a shot put throw. Is it caught? No. Incomplete, and that was a really poor throw. He should have probably just tucked it.
I think actually two things happened right there, I'm going to say. So Russell cut his route short.
Yeah.
He should have kept going. Rooster had the distance on the pass. I don't think he expected Russell to jump and come back. I think Russell felt like he was out of Rooster's range. That was a well-thrown football. Good spiral. Russell just cut his route
He just
short.
kind of heaved that ball up and hoped for the best.
Yeah, but if Russell had kept running, I mean, you know, wow. Then that's unfortunate because the Blue Jays had an opportunity right there.
All right, here we go. Fourth down. Chris Randolph ran to the sideline. He's come back on the field. Indians lead at 7-3. Hamilton wide right. Maybe looking at the quick kick here.
Yeah, no, I think to do anything other than that would be.
Try to get field position out of this, what you want. All right.
But you never know. They might take a shot right here, too. They could.
Rooster sets, and he is going to take a shot. They're going to throw it. They're going to throw right side. There's nobody over there.
Side.
Incomplete. Manhattan had a free ball to intercept.
No, they
didn't have a connection there.
No, they dropped that on purpose because they're going to get better field position. If he'd intercepted that, he'd been back at the 5-yard line.
What do you think happened on the play?
So I'll tell you what happened on the play. Rooster threw behind his receiver. Aaron got out there fast. Aaron was trying to run to the end zone, and he broke inside, and Russell, I don't know if Rooster thought he was going to break outside, but he threw it outside, and so they miscommunicated.
We need to break here for 30 seconds. You're listening to Blue Jay Football. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. Running play, maybe gets a yard to the 34 for the Manhattan Indians. It'll be 2nd down and 9 coming up for Manhattan. Junction City doing a pretty good job, Brian, on defense.
Yeah, power read. What they do right there, though, is he decides whether he's going to get to the back or not. He just follows him. Instead of a counter, it's actually just a power read. So it turns into a lead block play right there. But Junction City front 4 and those 3 linebackers, again, doing an outstanding job. Baylor Wilkie having a great game. Kazarick Smith, Albert Kaba, all doing a great job. And because of that, instead of playing the nickel back, we've got Batista at strong safety.
Manhattan running left, and McDonald's going to be dropped for a loss at the 32. Good penetration by the Blue Jay defense.
Was that Kazarick?
Yes, from the right side.
No, that was Albert Kaba.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Kaba doing a nice job. I'll tell you what, this Blue Jay front 7 has been up for the challenge tonight, doing a great job.
I think the offensive line's done pretty well for Junction City, too.
I like what we've done. The offensive line's been great. I like this, though, because this allows Batiste to play in the secondary as a safety. I like the 4-3.
3rd down 10 for the Indians. Go back to you in a minute, Brian. Back to throw. Ashenbender goes deep down the left sideline. He hit the defensive back. It's dropped. That should have been offensive pass interference, frankly. Now, Brian, I'll let you finish.
Oh, no, I'm going to go to this play. What I was saying before isn't near as important as the coverage right there. Alec Pointer did an amazing job as a corner right there. Did a great job in pass coverage. Stayed with the receiver, and when he saw the pass, he was in the right place. He had the receiver pinned between him and the sideline, and he almost intercepted that diving for the ball. And, you're right, Dewey. Maybe the Manhattan player looked like he could have tackled Alec. But either way, Alec did a great job right there. That was great pass coverage.
Blue Jays get the football. Manhattan punting. Aaron Hamilton back at the Blue Jay 38. It's a high punt.
Get away.
Aaron's going to get away from it. They let it bounce. Manhattan will down it at the Blue Jay 39. That's the right decision right there.
I just want to go back to this, though. The Blue Jays have been running a 3-5 for several years. The 4-3 was a staple of Coach Randall Zimmerman's defense back in the early 2000s. About the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006, kind of started to flirt a little bit with the 3-4. You started to see it pretty prominently by about 2010 or so, 2011, 12. And they've been running it quite a bit, and they've been running a version similar to K-State, obviously because Ty Zimmerman is the defensive coordinator. But the 4-3 has worked very well, and I actually really like the 4-3, not just tonight, but I'm a big fan of the 4-3 defense.
Full house backfield for the Blue Jays. They rush it tough right up the middle across the 40 for a gain of 4 to the 43-yard line. The ball carried by Randolph that time. It'll be 2nd down. I want to tell you that Vernon's Custom Jewelers, State Farm, LaDonna Younghands, Connell Plumbing and Heating, Carpet One, Meritrust Credit Union, and Precision Motorsports back the Junction City Blue Jays. Here we go, 2nd down 6.
I want to go back to the 4-3 thing in just a minute. One thing that really changed for the Blue Jays and helped them be able to do that.
Blue Jays rushing. They come up the left side and no gain. Randolph took the handoff deep in the backfield, and that offensive line collapsed back against him, and it was JoJo Nieves, too, not to Randolph. It'll be 3rd down 6 for Junction City.
Yeah, they just caved down the left side of that offensive line of the Blue Jays. But I want to go back. One of the reasons the Blue Jays have been able to do what they've done and go to a 4-3 is the return of Antonio Cooper. They didn't have him the first few weeks. He's back. That allows them to play Terrence Crumpton as an interior defensive lineman because Antonio Cooper is a very good defensive end. And without him, they had Crumpton playing the defensive end. If they go to a 3-4, you're going to see Crumpton at the nose guard, but Arturo Chavez will come in, and those two will play tackles, and then you've got Nolan Rothfuss and Antonio Cooper, the defensive end.
Here we go. Twins right on the far side. And they'll get a whistle before the play is off. Blue Jays are confused. Randall is mad at Rooster. They didn't get something right, and Junction City had to take their 2nd time out.
So that right there doesn't necessarily look like that's a issue with the way the team lined up. Almost wondered if the wrong play or the wrong formation totally was called right there because Coach Zimmerman recognized it immediately as they started to line up.
All right, so the entire Blue Jay offense out on the field. Sometimes the quarterback gets to the line of fire even if they maybe not have been the reason.
Yeah, but we've got 4 minutes and 58 seconds in the 3rd quarter, and we have burned 2 timeouts.
We're going to take a 30 right here. We'll be back at Al Simpler Stadium right after this.
Years of combined experience and assist you when the unexpected happens and when life goes right. She and her team can assist with retirement, life, disability, home, renters, autos, and deaf aid. The Donna Young Hannah State Farm Agency is honored to be your good neighbor bear.
And welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. The Blue Jays trail Manhattan 7-3. Junction City ball, their 43-yard line, 3rd down and 6. Left hash on the near side. Rolling out near side to give it to Russell. Turned upfield, shy of the first down, but close. They're probably within a yard, a half yard maybe. Clear up at the 48-yard line. And interesting decision here for Coach Zimmerman. It is 4th down, less than a yard. They put the ball right down middle of the field in the 48. Rooster came over to the sideline.
That's a
see
great
what
run,
Coach
though.
wants to do. Yeah, it was. Good deception coming out of the backfield.
They'll try and see if Manhattan will jump right here. They're very disciplined, probably won't, and then you might see, Rooster's going to get up under center.
All right, here they go. They're going to rush it quick. They hand it off to
First
Randolph.
down.
He's got a first down. He's to the 50, and that is about a half a yard beyond the first down
that's
marker.
a horrible spot.
They got the first down. Ball was put down at the 50. The official coming back has placed it a little closer to the 49. Now the officials are talking. I think they've got it. They're going to do a measurement.
Oh, wow. I mean, we could see it from up here. Of course, we got a different angle, different view. That ball got out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I did.
He reached and got out to the 50.
Official set it back. All right, they're going to stretch the chains. Richard Wilhide bringing out his Master Rick Chain game
Is he
guy.
the class of 69 or 70? 70.
70. Okay, they're going to check it, and they got the first down by half a yard. All right, football is between the 49 and 50 of Junction City. It's on the J. 4:19 to go, 3rd quarter. Half a field to go to see if the Blue Jays can reclaim the lead here in tonight's game. They trail 7-3.
That's huge. That's big, especially since you burned the timeout. You didn't want to burn it for nothing. So that's nice right there. They were able to continue this drive. Now, don't make any mistakes. Let's see if we can get in the end zone.
1st and 10, Junction City from the shotgun set. Rooster takes it, going to sweep left. They got Russell carrying the ball on the sideline at the 45, the 40. They grab him by the jersey and finally push him out of bounds. You know what the real advantage here is, Brian? He hasn't carried the ball that much. He's fresh.
And listen, but that's what we've been saying all year. Somebody to take the load off of Russell so we can use him when we need him, because Russell is a very good running back. Very agile, incredible vision, and we see him being more patient just like we do Rooster. And if you can have somebody else as your workhorse and let these two late in the ball game start to use their speed, I'm telling you right now, Manhattan is very surprised. Don't think they expected the Blue Jays to be this fast. Of course, they're
First
pumped
down,
up.
36-yard line as the Blue Jays approach the line of scrimmage. They've got Russell slot left, 2 in the backfield with Rooster. Russell in motion. They're going to hand it off to Chris. Angles outside. Quick cut. 35. Hit his own man and knocked down at the 32. He ran into Ethan Alcorn.
Ethan was doing a nice job, though, trying to block 2 guys. So that was actually very well blocked by Ethan Alcorn outside. You see him turn and apologize to Chris Randolph, but he did nothing wrong. When you're trying to block 2 people, that's going to happen.
Good run, though, by Chris.
It was
to
a
come
great
outside.
Run. Yes, it was. And, but I wanted to say to finish what I was saying. The Blue Jays are running the football harder than they have in several weeks, though. I mean, we're seeing them. They are on a mission tonight, and their line's playing well. It gives you a lot of confidence when you're able to get positive yardage.
All right, here they go. 2nd down, 6, 32-yard line of the Indians. Left hash on the near side. Alcorn spreads out wide right.
Rooster will keep it this time.
Rooster hands off. Randolph dodging, weaving inside the 30, spins and tackles forward to the 29. They gain 3. It'll be 3rd down. Now keep in mind, they've already gone for it once on 4th down in this series. This is 4-down territory as far as Randall's concerned.
Kind of surprised we haven't seen Rooster try and keep one. This might be the play, though. See if he can break something into the open field to the wide side.
Randolph and Wilkie are running pretty well right now.
They're running very well. But this offensive line, I can't say enough about how well they have played the last few weeks. I mean, just starting from that Topeka High game on, they have just played incredibly well.
All right, Junction City set. They got Wilkie and Randolph in the backfield. They hand off sweep left to Russell. Broke 1 tackle, arm tackle, and goes inside the 25 for a 1st down. Pushed out of bounds at the 22. Junction City got 7 on the rush. 1st and 10. They move the chains on the far side of the field.
That big old left tackle. Duke Vale wears number 77, 6'7", 305.
Oh, he's big.
And that guy can dominate a line of scrimmage. Let me tell you, he just crashed down that time, and the tight end Luke Hughes was over there with him and made a nice block to get the seal, and Russell was able to get outside. That's a big 1st down.
If the Blue Jays can put it in the end zone here, this crowd will go wild. There's the snap to Rooster. Running play, Randolph between the seams, up the middle, got one maybe. And it will be 2nd down 9. That time he just couldn't shake free.
Well, getting some good penetration that time for Manhattan. And it's interesting because they're playing a different defensive front than what we had expected to. Some different players that are in there for them, trying to find their, here we go, here's their roster. Number 55, Darius O'Connell, just a sophomore, seen a lot of time at defense. But that nose guard that everybody's been talking about, number 45, haven't seen him in there much.
Snap to Rooster, quick handoff. Russell sweeping left around the end. As a block, surges forward down to the 15-yard line. It's now 3rd and 2. They gain 7 on the rush.
And I want to clarify what I'm saying. It's not that we haven't seen him in the game, because Ela Leo, number 45, the nose guard that everybody talks about that's so good, 6'1", 230, has been playing a lot of defensive end. They've been rotating some other people in at that nose guard position.
Rooster trotted over and talked to Coach Zimmerman, got the play call. John Davis encouraging the offensive line. Veteran coach for the Blue Jays. Ethan Alcorn comes wide left. Tight ends, both left and right. They snap it to Rooster. Rushing play, Russell, same at the 15. Hit, lunges forward, stretches the ball out, and I think they'll mark it at the 13, and that's probably a 1st down. Depends on the spot. We'll have to wait and see here. It's very, very close, and they're going to push it back a few inches.
They pulled a guard right there, Kalen Bowler, and also they led with the fullback, Devin Sharpstein. Good blocking right there, and Russell read it well and got some positive yardage, but did he not? He did not get the 1st down. So what is it, 4th and 2?
4th down, less than a yard. Football's at the 14-yard line. Junction City breaks the huddle. Crowd watching, some standing. Here at Simpler, 7-3 Manhattan. Blue Jays driving a snap to Rooster. Hands off in the backfield. 1st down rush inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Junction City powering forward behind their left guard and tackle. Chris Randolph carried that football, but he had great blocking in front of him.
Chris Randolph has been on a mission from the opening carry of the game. Man, we have needed this. Where has this been? I'm glad he's healthy. That's the difference. Chris Randolph's healthy. That helps this football team dramatically.
1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Left hash on the near side.
What have we thrown the football 3-4 times maybe tonight?
Blue Jays line it up. I've got 3 passes.
Yeah, it surprises me. I kind of thought.
Okay, hold it. We got something
Timeout
here.
Manhattan. Timeout Manhattan.
Timeout Manhattan will stay here this time.
So, that's what I was saying. I kind of thought the Blue Jays would have to throw the football tonight. I really did. In fact, I expected us to maybe see by now Andrew in there lining Rooster up maybe as a slot a little bit too, to try and open up some passing or some running lanes by throwing the football a little bit downfield, because we've seen that happen. But the Blue Jays are doing something right here that usually Manhattan does. The Blue Jays' long, sustained drive. That's old school Randall Zimmerman football. That's what Randall Zimmerman was running when he got here. Control the clock, run the ball, and play good defense. And that's what we're seeing out of the Blue Jays tonight. And when Junction City has been successful against Manhattan in the past several years, when they've won, like in 2016, it's because they lined up and ran right at Manhattan, controlled the clock, and played good defense.
I think Randall might have attended an old school, by the way. 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Left hash, 34 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Blue Jays won't want to settle for a field goal here. They need to punch it in the end zone.
2013 was what I was thinking about when the Blue Jays won 16-10 over in Manhattan.
Here they come to the line of scrimmage. Manhattan took that timeout. Devin Sharpstein's now in the backfield with Randolph and Rooster Adams. They got Wilkie up on the side of the line right. He's going to come back left. They're going to give it to Chris.
Oh, huge hole.
Angles left side. They push him up the middle. He's inside the 5.
Hold the ball.
Manhattan trying to rip it out, and they can't. He stopped forward progress just inside the 5, and they never did tackle him. They pushed him back.
No, but
it was a scrum down there.
For heaven's sakes, blow the whistle. That was ridiculous.
He hugs the official coming back to the huddle.
I'm just going to say, of course, I was a running back, and nothing makes you madder than when you're in the middle of something like that and you're getting shoved back 14, 15 yards from where you got forward progress. Blow the whistle.
Here we go. Ball has been placed directly on the 5-yard line. That was officially a 4-yard gain, almost 5. 2nd down goal. Left hash again near the Blue Jays sideline. Okay. Randall telling his team get back behind the sideline, and the 3rd quarter is over. We'll take a break right now. We'll get right back to Al Simpler Stadium right after this.
Junction City High School. State an award from the Marines to be a Bluejay cheerleader. It was a close battle all night with great effort from both sides. So give yourself a round of applause.
This is rivalry football. Junction City, the Manhattan Indians. Blue Jays will start the fourth quarter trailing 7-3. They have the football at the Manhattan 5-yard line. Left hash now on the east end of the stadium. That's near the Manhattan sideline. Junction City has second down and goals. They now break the huddle and come out toward the line of scrimmage. Coach kept them on the sideline talking to the entire offense.
So
here we go.
Brewster's
going to set one tight end left side. Adams, the senior quarterback. Devin Sharpstein's in the backfield. Randolph at tailback. They're going to sweep it left. Russell's trying to come the corner to the end zone.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. The Junction City Blue Jays, Russell Wilkie on a 5-yard touchdown run. The 1-2 punch at running back worked.
They pulled two linemen and got the fullback to lead. It was a triple lead. That is old school Randall Zimmerman football, a triple lead. Russell got in behind, got right off tackle. Huge touchdown here. And Dewey, I want to mention something. Junction City has outrushed Manhattan by a lot of yards in this game. I'm going to give those stats here in just a minute.
All right, Jaden Kell on to kick the extra point. Trevor Laughlin will hold on the play. PAT attempt coming, 9-7 Blue Jays. Kick is on the blocked. Junction City got it down. The kick was too low. Manhattan came over the top. That's huge if we get into a field goal situation late. We'll take a 30-second break right here. We'll be back to Al Simpler Stadium right after this. And welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. And that little mistake, that missed extra point, could prove to be oh so big later. It is 9-7, Junction City on top for the second time tonight. We'll bring Brian Field back in. You were making a point there.
No, it's a couple of quick things. So the Blue Jays have outrushed Manhattan. So in this first half, they outrushed them 102-60. And that is Manhattan's forte. So in the third quarter, Manhattan, the Blue Jay defense held them to 2 yards rushing. They outrushed them 66-2 in the third quarter. Junction City's outplaying Manhattan in this football game. Can they come out on top? The other thing I want to mention, they had a pull-up competition between Junction City students and Manhattan students, and Junction City won that. So, hey, there's one victory for them already.
Well, that's tough, missing that extra point right there. That
is, but
that leaves Manhattan in field goal position.
It does, but the fans are fired up. A lot of momentum. You can just kind of feel it right now. Good things in the air. And, Junction City has not beat Manhattan at home in quite some time, here at Al Simpler in quite some time.
All right, Junction City getting set to kick off with that 9-7 lead. 11:54 to go in the ball game. There's the kick, not real deep, end over end, comes down to the 26, picked up there by the Indians. And they're going to get a nice run back on the carry.
Right
Xavier
there.
Goodrich
Where's the
up
flag?
the far side, and he's out of bounds across the 50 in Blue Jay territory. Manhattan's fired up too.
They are very fired up now, but there was a big hold right at the 40-yard line. Two guys, you just saw him kind of grab a Blue Jay defender as he was coming up to make the tackle. But they didn't see it, so that's that. Moving on. But so the last time, according to my recollection here, the last time that Junction City beat Manhattan at Al Simpler Stadium was in 2012. I remember watching that game. I was sitting over here on the left side of the press box, Dewey, and then in 2013 was the first year I broadcasted with you, and we won that one 16-10 over in Manhattan. But 34-3 was that game in 2012.
Indians 1st and 10, Blue Jay 47. They're going to rush McDonald, breaks one tackle, spins forward inside the 40, and down to the Blue Jay 38-yard line. Now, right now, Manhattan's turning to their big horse, Cavante McDonald.
Yeah, they're mad. You can see it. They're fired up. They're mad. They're not happy about that touchdown. And you're right, Dewey. Let's hope that mixed extra point doesn't come back to haunt the Blue Jays.
Yeah. There have been 3 critical mistakes in this game tonight for Junction City.
You're right.
Manhattan's had one of their own, a pass interception that nullified a drive. Here's a rush up the middle into the secondary. They got Javon Peoples coming left to right, and they're going right at the Blue Jays.
What they're running is just a trap. That's the trap. They're running the trap right up the middle.
All right, they're at first down. They're in Junction City territory. Manhattan's got an undefeated record on the line here. They're at the Blue Jay 28-yard line, ball middle of the field. One receiver comes wide left on the near side, Gavin Cohn. Under center, Anderson now pitches back in the backfield. Rushing left, and there goes a big run. Carrying the ball, Jalen Liggins ripping it down to the Blue Jay 16. Manhattan showing as much emotion as we've seen all night.
That was a big power sweep right there, and they like to run that out of the flex bone. They're settling into their flex bone and running right at the Blue Jays. They're doing what the Blue Jays have been doing to them now in this quarter. In Manhattan, that's what they're going to do. You're right, though, Dewey. They're mad. They're fired up, and I think they're a little upset that they're not ahead because I think, honestly, they came in underrating this Blue Jay football team.
All right, here we go. First down from the Blue Jays 16. They snap into the backfield. McDonald carrying up the middle, and they rush him down hard at the 14, a gain of 2. That stops him a little bit. They tried to come left to right with him veering behind the right guard. He gains 2, and it's going to be actually gained about 1. Good defense that time by Junction City.
Yeah, Manhattan, I honestly think that they came in expecting to be far ahead by now. I think they underestimated this Blue Jay football team just a little bit, and I think they're fired up and mad.
Here we go in the backfield. Peoples slot back on the left side. They turn, they give to McDonald's, rushing hard up the left tackle, and he's met head on and stopped for a gain of about 2. Again, good defensive reaction.
Kazarick Smith, Antonio Cooper, and Baylor Wilkie. Huge, big tackles right there. That's a big play, though. Third now. If Junction City can keep them out of the end zone right here, that's big.
All right, ball's at the 13-yard line.
They've had as many rushing yards on this drive as they've had in the last 2 quarters.
3rd down, 7. The Indians come to the line of scrimmage. In the I formation look, offset I. They're going to rush it again. Left side, McDonald tripped up in the backfield and falls forward to the 12. And Junction City had some pretty good penetration that time. Catching him by the ankle was Kazarick Smith.
Now, and they ran a corner blitz, though. Alec Pointer, corner blitz. They read that. They knew what was coming, sent him. He got in the backfield, disrupted him, and then Kazarick Smith made the tackle. That was big.
What's Manhattan do? Ball's at the Junction City. Actually, they put it back at the 13.
Blue Jays,
I had him at the 12.
Yeah,
Here comes the kicker.
They need to, okay. So they need to watch the pass right here. So they're going to go for that field goal you talked about, doing to try for the 1-point lead.
I'm afraid that's going to get to be a huge thing.
The Blue Jays need to make sure. Well, we've seen this, though. I don't know what this kicker's like, but the guy that kicked the extra point is if it's the same guy, and the kicker that's been kicking the kickoffs, this could be out of his range, Dewey.
Timeout down on the field. Sean Lang is the kicker.
Did we use our last timeout?
We're waiting to see. Not sure which side it called it. But they have taken the timeout. The ball's at the 13-yard line, so a 23-yard from the line of scrimmage. A kick would be from about the 20, so a 30-yard attempt. He's on the left hash, so they're going to have to angle that kick. It's not going to be easy.
Well, I'm wondering if Joe Sharp second-guessed his decision right there and decided once he saw his team line up. That's a pretty long field goal.
Yeah, it is.
And so for this, and from what I've seen of Manhattan's kicking game, I think this could be at the edge of this kid's range. Of course, I could be wrong, too. He might boot that thing through with no problem, too.
Right now, it's 8:53 to go in the ball game. Junction City leads 9-7. Manhattan fell behind on the Blue Jay touchdown, but blocked the extra point. They have driven downfield now and gotten themselves into field goal range, if in fact they go for it. Lang is coming back out.
I'd like to know who called that timeout.
They may have changed. Yep, they're going to go for it.
Yeah,
I think it's outside his range.
I think that when they lined up, Coach Sharts had a chance to look at this and second-guessed his decision. I really do.
All right, here they go. From the 13-yard line of the Blue Jays, the Indians set the offense.
Watch the pass.
Eichenbrenner, hold it. We got a whistle before they ever get the play going.
They're not set. Yeah, it's not set. Ball's not set.
All right, Eichenbrenner once again resets the offense. He's got McDonald flanking him on the left.
Watch the play over the middle, the pass play over the middle. They moved. Manhattan moved.
That's 5 more yards.
Yep. Going back.
Manhattan moves.
Their left guard moved.
That'll be a legal procedure against the Indians. It goes back to the 18, and they're visibly frustrated.
Well, they're fired up, but you know what? for Manhattan to have to come out and play with that kind of intensity, that's not their style of play. Junction City has taken Manhattan out of their comfort zone. They're not used to being in this situation.
Manhattan's got some passing attack, but they've had 2 passes picked off tonight. They're at 4th down at the Bluejay 18-yard line. They could get a first down at the 6. All right, Junction City.
Bluejays have to watch the pass.
Bluejays have the defense ready. Aschenbrenner back in the shotgun. Crowd cheering. There's the snap.
Here it is.
To throw. Looking. Over the middle. Pass. It's intercepted. Junction City's Aaron Hamilton's got his second pick. Brings it back across the 15 to the 19. And what do you know? The Bluejays have got it. First down, still leading. 9-7. The team is jumping up and down on the field.
That is huge. I'll tell you what, dude.
Manhattan doesn't pass well.
No, I told you before the game. We talked about it last week. Manhattan does not throw the football well. Their forte is running the ball. So I just want to give kudos, no matter how this game ends up, I just want to give kudos to the Junction City Bluejay coaches because they figured out, first of all, running a 4-3. They also have this team ready to play and ready to stop this Manhattan offense. This is what they've done. Manhattan does not, this is not what they're used to. Manhattan usually at this point in the ball game starts taking over, and they've had to play with a little more intensity than they're used to, been taken out of their comfort zone. Junction City's done a nice job disrupting it. Now,
all right, here we
cannot turn over here, though.
First and 10, power backfield, ball's moving. Junction City sweeping to the near side. Russell around the end at the 20, hit and bowled out of bounds. And they'll mark him out at the 24, so it's a 4-yard gain for Russell Wilkie. And the Bluejays are going to run that clock. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. We've got 8:38 and counting.
Senior Ben Gallagher, he's a corner, made a nice tackle, nice open field tackle right there to force Russell out of bounds. He's going to go out of the ball game now.
All right, if the Bluejays get this victory, in my opinion, it would be the biggest win in about 3 years for Junction City.
Or longer because of the way they've won. Because this is a better Manhattan football team than we've seen over the last few years, Dewey.
Ball snapped. They're running off the left tackle. Chris has got it, spins forward across the 25. They stand him up at the 26. Again, a scrum. They did, and they're still playing.
Good grief. You know, I guess I'm probably a little more defensive of Randolph right there than I should be being a running back. But when your linemen are behind you trying to force you forward and the defense is in front of you and you're just kind of getting pushed around and smushed, that makes it tough, man.
All right, Junction City huddling up now. They've got 3rd down. They're at the 27, almost the 28. To get a first down, they have to go just shy of the 30. This is a huge play to keep this drive moving. They're letting the clock run down. We're at 7:59 now and counting. 9-7. Bluejays have the 4th quarter lead here at Simpler. Rooster up under center. They turn. They rush Randolph.
Big.
Right side. He stood up. I don't know if he got it.
No, he got it.
Wait and see where they spot it.
Where's that spot?
And he is down. He got rocked hard.
He's
on
okay.
the tackle.
Nah, they'll help him up.
He's tired.
He is, but that's okay, man. This is what we've needed out of Chris Randolph all season long, and he picked the perfect night to do it. No matter the outcome of this football game.
1st and 10, Junction City.
You could tell he got it. So, but I just want to go back to that. When you're a running back and you're going forward, and all of a sudden you feel your own lineman start to put their helmet in your back, and the whistle never blows, it's frustrating. But Randolph has been so tough tonight, and right there fought for a big first down.
Football's at the 30-yard line, right side, Bluejays side of the field. They're keeping it on the ground. They put Wilkie in motion. They're going to sweep left with him. Around the end, turns, cuts inside. He's got it across the 30, the 35. Hit, tackled forward to the 36, a 6-yard gain on first down.
That's the difference between Russell Wilkie this year and Russell Wilkie last year. Last year, he would have seen that and would have tried to go outside. This year, he was patient. He let his blocking get out in front of him. Though he beat the blocking, he slowed down and let the play develop and cut it back inside. And I can remember, when you're a running back, you want to just go. But sometimes, if the corner of your eye, if you see a block coming, it's hard, but you got to be patient and let that block happen. Sometimes it's just tough to do, and Russell did a great job of that right there.
2nd down 4 for the Bluejays. They're going to sweep right again. Russell trying to turn the corner. They wrap him up and knock him down back at the 35. It's a loss on the play of about a yard.
Now that time he should have trusted his instincts and just tried to beat him to the edge. That time it didn't work for him.
Interesting 3rd down call. We'll call it 3rd and between 4 and 5 yards. 6.5 minutes to go in the football game. So the Bluejays will huddle up, and Randall's talking to Rooster. What can they come up with here? They've got to have a first down, or they're going to have to put it back to Manhattan. Here they come to the line of scrimmage now.
It'd be nice, though, if they could get a first down and knock some more time off the clock, if nothing else.
Yeah. There's the snap to Rooster. They're going to go Randolph. Oh, boy.
well
That blew
read.
up in the, oh, he broke a tackle. He's still going. And he's up
still,
to 38. He's still 2 yards shy. He looked like he was going to be dropped for a loss.
Yeah, but that was huge, man. I'm telling you,
All right.
Chris Randolph is on a mission tonight. That was second, third, fourth effort right there.
What's Randall do here on 4th down?
Yeah, I think, man, I'll tell you, I think you got to punt it.
Well, they got to go 2 for the first down.
So 4th and 2, you're on your own 38.
I'm not sure they're going to punt.
Yeah, they'll punt it. They might act like they're not going to punt it, but Coach Zimmerman, if he doesn't punt it here, you don't want to give Manhattan the ball.
5:35 to go.
40-yard line.
Here they come to the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to go for it.
Well, they might.
Roosters got it set. Trying to get him to jump offside, as you predicted. He's looking over at the sideline at Coach Zimmerman. Going to move Russell to the left wing.
they're gonna
Now
punt it
Rooster
now.
drops back into formation in the shotgun. There's the penalty flag, 5-yard delay of game. What they did is they ran that clock down, too, to 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
That's okay. That's all right. Backing Andrew up 5 yards isn't a big deal if they bring him into punt now, and I would, but they might leave Rooster in there.
Manhattan has tossed 3 interceptions tonight. Dane Ashton-Brenner's been picked off, 2 by Aaron Hamilton. So passing coming up the field, not their big thing.
We haven't seen Andrew since he punted in that first quarter, have we?
Jalen Liggins comes in. Deep man
okay.
also back there with him. Javon Peoples at the Indians' 35-yard line.
I wonder if Andrew's okay.
All right, Roosters got Twins left, Twins right. Sets his offense. Quick kick is on the way, and he's got blocked.
He actually kicked it into his own man.
It goes out of bounds up the field across the 45 to the Junction City 48. You might as well have gone for it. You've got basically an 8-yard, 10-yard net punt. That didn't work at all. They tried to kick it up close to the line of scrimmage. Well, he was too close.
They're discussing something here.
That's a mistake in the plan.
Well, it is because the Manhattan front did a good job forcing the blockers back into the kick, and that's tough.
Put the ball at the Bluejay 43-yard line.
Defense has to stand tall.
Manhattan has really been given a gift. 1st and 10, 9-7 Bluejays. 5:16 to go. Left hash on the near side. Ashton-Brenner looks over at his coach, Joe Schartz, for a long time. Whistle blows, steps up under center. No shotgun look. Bluejays shift the defensive line. Rushing play, McDonald. He may have gotten a half-yard. He breaks free.
We got the ball.
Bluejays took the ball away, but they're saying he was down. Junction City ripped the ball out, and they're running back with Baylor Wilkie headed to the end zone.
Coaches on the Blue Jays sideline are beside themselves.
It looked like forward progress was stopped.
Oh, wow. I can
Fans
see where
don't
they're
like it.
upset. Well, the whistle, I'm telling you, Dewey, that's the danger of them not blowing the whistle faster. The kids are going to start fighting inside that scrum and thinking they're getting the ball. You have got to blow the darn whistle.
All right, it's 2nd down 9 for the Indians after a 1-yard gain.
They're creating their own controversy here by not blowing that whistle.
4 down linemen for the Bluejays. They're going to rush the quarterback behind McDonald. He's hit, plunges inside the 40 down to the 38, so a gain of about 4. And Manhattan now in 4-down territory as well. You can assume that. They're at the Bluejay 38-yard line.
Yep, and that's...
I'm real worried about that missed extra point and the chance for Manhattan to kick a game-winning field goal. And, of course, the Bluejays had their chances in the first half and didn't get into the end zone a couple of times. 4:38 and counting down.
But the other side of that, Dewey, is if Manhattan does score here and the Blue Jays need to score, that field goal is huge.
All right, 3rd down
The
coming
field
up
goal they made in the second.
for the Indians. They snap it to McDonald. Wildcat snap in the backfield.
Nice.
He stood up, he's hit, he's wrestled back. They gain 1. It's 4th down. This is the biggest defensive play of the game coming up.
I'll tell you what, though. This is one of the most intense Manhattan Junction City football games I have seen in a while. Oh.
It is 4th down for the Junction City Bluejay defense. Can they hold? It's 4th, and we'll call it 3 against the Manhattan Indians. Manhattan comes to the line of scrimmage. Here they go. The crowd's cheering. Everybody's standing at this stadium. 5 down linemen running play. Right side.
They stop him?
And they're going to try to stop him. Liggins trying to keep it moving.
Yeah,
I think he's short.
stopped him.
It's very close, folks. It's at the 34, almost the 33. The Blue Jays are pointing their direction. We got to wait on this spot. I'm going to say he didn't make it. Looks like he's a half yard short. Manhattan certainly not celebrating. The officials will take no chances, and they'll do a measurement. They put the 4th down marker over near the 1st and 10 with 3:31 to go in the game, and here comes the sticks. Richard Wilhite trots out on the field. Former Blue Jay linebacker. They're going to stretch the chain. He didn't get it. Junction City's got that football. All right, Blue Jays, a chance to run out the clock and beat Manhattan. We're going to take a 30-second break right here. We'll be back to Simpler Stadium right after this. And welcome back to the Central National Bank press box. The Blue Jays run it up the gut across the 35 to the 37-yard line for a gain of 3. Now Manhattan's got a timeout remaining. Brian Field right now, it's up to your offensive line, I think.
Well, here's the thing, though. Manhattan preys on mistakes. Your opponent making mistakes. The Blue Jays have to hold on to the football. They just got half the distance that they needed to get the first down.
Yeah, it's a 5-yard gain. I said 3.
You know, if they can get the first down right here and slow the clock down, they cannot fumble. This is going to be the Blue Jays' victory. No mistakes here. No mistakes.
Full house, power T backfield, robust, whatever you want to call it. Racing near side, Russell spins and is knocked down the backfield at the 36. He hesitated a little bit on where to make his cut.
Well, he was trying to read the blocking.
And he's slow getting up. He's grabbing his feet. He may be cramping.
He's got a cramp. So maybe he was cramping as he was running, but I think what happened right there, it's okay. He'll come out for a play. They'll bring in Puma Page or somebody else. Actually, they're going to bring in JoJo. So, and it's a cramp. You can tell by the way he's rolling around. Yeah. They'll get it. But the big thing is this defensive front for Manhattan is what made that play right there. They got good penetration. But this offensive line tonight, man, they have done an outstanding job. And I'll tell you what, Dewey, no matter what happens getting out of here, what made the difference for the Blue Jays tonight, not only did that offensive line do incredibly well, and did Corbin Sander do a great job slowing down that nose guard that we've been hearing. Of course, they did move him to end, too, and so the guards and the tackles have played into that. They've been moving him around on that line. Chris Randolph is here tonight. He showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up to play for the Blue Jays.
He's my vote for MVP.
Well, he's healthy again. He's had some things going on where he hasn't been able to beat Chris Randolph. Well, he's 100% tonight. So he is Chris Randolph, and this is what we've needed all season long. And I'm telling you, that could have made the difference in some other ball games. The Topeka High ball game, maybe that Washburn Rural ball game. Of course, 6 turnovers against Washburn Rural is never going to help you. It doesn't matter who you got on the field.
All right, 3rd down right here. Junction City has quite a ways to go for a first down. It looks like about 6.
And that's the guy that you want in there carrying the football in this situation when you're trying to get the edge. Of course, they could try and throw the ball too. My opinion is, in this case, don't do anything too risky. Maybe run something. See if you can go ahead and get the first down with just your bread and butter, because if you try and throw the ball and throw an interception right here, that could be costly. See if you can get the first down with your bread and butter and then let your defense do their thing, because the defense has done a great job tonight really holding the Manhattan rushing offense in check.
Backfield, Devin Sharpstein, Chris Randolph, Rooster Adams, Ethan Alcorn wide left, Joel Nieves in the slot right. 3rd down 6 for the Blue Jays from their 33-yard line, leading 9-7. Just over 2 minutes to play in the game here at Simpler. Long count. Rooster just standing, letting that clock run. Now they take the snap. They're going to pitch it wide right to Chris. Turns upfield, and Junction City's not going to get that first down. They got back to the line of scrimmage. All right, the clock shows 2:05 and still running. You know the Blue Jays will take another 30 seconds off on the play. Manhattan may use that last timeout, and they're going to.
So here's the thing. You're not close enough to try and get them to jump.
Yeah.
So what you're just going to do right here is you're just going to try and punt it. Punt it, pin them deep, 1:59. We've talked about this. This is not Manhattan's forte. Long, big, needing a big play. So they're going to have to run the running game. They can still throw the football, but that's not their strength. So this really plays into the Blue Jays' favor. And the thing is, though, with the Blue Jays, do you go to maybe some kind of a prevent? Probably not, because you don't want Manhattan to bust a big running play. McDonald can do it. Their quarterback can do it. You never know who might be able to do it. And so anyway, I think this is huge. I honestly didn't know if the Blue Jays would be in this situation in the fourth quarter. I don't want to take anything away from the Blue Jays here, but this is one of the better Manhattan football teams we've seen defensively in a long time. Maybe their offense isn't quite, because they don't throw the ball as well as they did, maybe not quite as potent, but they sure have a good running game.
Rooster's going to drop back. They're going to bring Andrew Corey in now. He's the regular punter.
He gets the high coverage kicks, kind of like. Which way is the wind blowing, though? It's pretty breezy out there.
All right, Andrew's standing back at the Blue Jay 25-yard line. Devin Sharpsteins is blocking back up front of him.
He's got the wind. I stuck my hand out. So the wind's in the Blue Jays' favor right here on the punt.
All right, waiting on the snap. It's a good one. Places it, kicks it deep, over the head of the Manhattan deep people. Bouncing at the 24. They're going to let it roll.
Oh, no, jump on
Junction
that.
City stops it at the 26-yard line. Now, here's the time remaining. 1 minute, 49 seconds to go in the ball game, and the Junction City Blue Jays are going to set that defense. Manhattan doesn't pass well, but we've seen, Brian, a couple over the middle tonight.
We have, and they can do that, but we've also seen Aaron Hamilton pick off 2 of the quarterback's passes tonight, too. So right there, Corbin Sanders, kind of funny because Corbin is a kid that you can tell he's a defensive lineman. He did not grab that punt like he should have because he's taught to not touch the football. So he got away from it, but that's what he probably should have grabbed right
They've just called something on Junction City.
Oh.
Randall's out on the field. Can't believe it. They didn't throw a flag, but there's something here going on. They're picking the football up at the 26, marching it upfield against Junction City. They're calling it, looks like a 10-yard penalty.
Well, it sure isn't. That doesn't mean it's unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul.
It wasn't that. Ball's at the 36, left hash on the near side. 1:49 to go. We'll have to get an explanation on that. Manhattan going. The Blue Jay fans are cheering. You can hear them in the background at Simpler.
Blue Jays
are going. Jamon Peoples in motion, going left to right. They snap it to Aschenbrenner. Wants to run it. He's free on the right side at the 40. 45. First down rush to the Blue Jay 48-yard, to the Manhattan 48-yard line. He gained 12 on first down. The clock showing 1:43. It'll stop when they move the chains, Brian.
I want to point out that the Blue Jays switched to a 3-4 right there, and that's why that happened. They read it. Manhattan read it and called a different play. They're going back to their 3-4.
Back to throw. Aschenbrenner rushing again, wide open, weaving through the defense in the secondary. They're tackling him from behind at the 33. Manhattan has taken the ball 31 yards in 2 plays.
They've got to go back to the 4-3. Junction City's got to go back to the 4-3. It's worked all game long here. They're going to go back to it now. They're bringing it on.
This is coming back. We got a penalty on Manhattan.
Oh, good. That's a makeup call.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Well, I don't know that, but they're bringing the ball back.
I'm going to guess it is just because.
I don't think it was. I think we got a penalty.
Yeah, either way. So this is big for the Blue Jays for 2 reasons. Now it gives them an opportunity to go back to that 4-3 that's been able to stop them all game.
Here's what they did. They marched it off from the 49. They took the 50. They took the ball back to the 40. So Manhattan's got to go to the Blue Jay 41 for a first down. The clock running 1:28.
Uncharacteristic mistake by Manhattan. Blue Jays go back to the 4-3.
Aschenbrenner back to throw. Throws it deep over the middle.
Intercepted.
And nope, it is intercepted. Junction City has picked it off at the 46, brought back across the 50, and it's Aaron Hamilton. That guy's got 3 picks tonight, the senior. A game of his life.
What a tough choice between Chris Randolph and Aaron Hamilton for player of the game. I know we're maybe not supposed to share.
I want my ballot back.
Yeah, I want my ballot back too.
Oh boy.
The big rival, what do they call that? The great rivalry. People.
Hamilton playing deep center field, just picked it off for the 3rd time. He's reading that quarterback. And I've got a hunch when Ty Zimmerman taught him how to do that. Ty was a defensive back.
That's huge. And what helps too, going back to that 4-3, is it puts Batiste back at safety with him.
Now, Junction City must hang on to the football. There's 1:18 to go. They lead the Indians 9-7. The 3rd ranked, undefeated. Manhattan Indians, Junction City is beating them.
Oh, this is an upset if they beat them. So I just want to go back to this, though. The Blue Jays went back to a 3-4. They 4-3 been working all game long to go to the 3-4. Yeah. Manhattan runs right down their throat. The big penalty dropped them back.
All right, we'll see if we get the victory formation right here. We're going to get that. They're going to take a knee and run that clock out. Rooster steps up behind Corbin. Takes a knee. The clock shows 1:17 ticking down. That was the victory formation. They got to run that clock out, though. Not give the Indians any chance at the football. They mark the ball at the 50-yard line now. So Junction City brings their offense back out on the field. Here comes Rooster from the sideline. Back into the huddle. Clock now showing 46 seconds remaining in the game. Football at the 50-yard line. Second down, 12. Rooster backs up 3 yards, takes a snap, and then gets pushed over. Clock running again. Third down coming up. And the clock's showing 28 seconds. They'll have to snap it one more time. Randall waving his fist on the sideline. He's fired up. They rush to the line of scrimmage. 15 seconds. They need to snap it one more time. They do it. He takes the knee, and that should be the ball game. And here come the Bluejays on the field. The Junction City Bluejays get the win. Brian Field rejoins me, and what a win, Brian.
Well, I had to step out for just a second to watch this. I just ran into the coaches. This is big. The reason this is big is nobody picked this tonight, including me. I honestly thought that Manhattan was going to come out here in the fourth quarter, and, if you'd have asked me before the game, I had Manhattan maybe by a couple touchdowns. Not anything against our Bluejays, but it's because they're so disciplined. But we talked about this before the game. If the Junction City Bluejays came out here and used their quickness and scored early and scored often and put Manhattan on their heels and take them out of their comfort zone, they had a chance to win. And if they played mistake-free, you know what? In the first quarter, they had some two huge mistakes, almost cost them this ball game. But since the Bluejays have played very disciplined, they played within themselves, they used their thing. And I want to say the big thing is the players, yes, they did their job, but this is about as good a coaching job as I've seen a coaching staff at Junction City High School do in a long time.
All right, we're getting set to head to postgame. Be sure to listen at the postgame for the G&B Enterprises Player of the Game. Brought to you by G&B Enterprises, providing insurance-approved medical transportation for your next doctor's appointment. And we'll be back to start the Cardinal Insurance postgame show right after this.
At this time, I believe teams are going to line up on the 40-yard line for the silver trophy presentation.
And welcome back to the Cardinal Insurance postgame show here on the Talk of JC. They have just presented the trophy, the sportsmanship trophy, the silver football. 4 Manhattan players brought it up to the middle of the field. The Bluejays were there. Rooster grabbed it, walked back toward his teammates, Brian, and that was a special sight.
Well, anybody that's ever played in this game knows how big of a moment that is. And trying to control emotions however you are, whether you're broadcasting the game, you're watching the game, you're playing in the game, you're coaching the game, it doesn't matter. But this is a better win, I think, in so many ways because of the fact that this is a darn good Manhattan football team. And, the Bluejays were up for this one tonight. We saw it when they came out fired up in that first quarter, played so well. We talked about them having to play mistake-free football. They had some big mistakes in the first quarter. They should have been up 14. They should have scored 14 points in the first quarter. They scored none. So they had to kick a field goal at the beginning of the second to go up 3-0. But the big thing here is, and I just want to hit on this again, I'll tell you, I'm proud of these boys. I am proud of this football team, but I am incredibly proud of this coaching staff because they did a great job coming up with a game plan And Coach Zimmerman, he talked about in his pregame, some other things we kind of thought we might see some pitch passes or some trick plays or throw the football more. Coach Zimmerman just came out with a 4-3 defense and was stingy and held a very good running Manhattan team to under 200 yards rushing in this game. I'd like to look at the stats again. The other thing that they did is they patiently ran the football and ran out the clock. They tonight beat Manhattan at their own game.
All right, we've got some other activity with the Great American Rivalry Series, but we want to tell you the GMB Enterprises Player of the Game, brought to you by GMB Enterprises, providing insurance-approved medical transportation for your next doctor's appointment. Brian, make our announcement.
Well, we were looking at Chris Randolph throughout the game because he contributed so much, and I even asked, is there any way we could do an offensive and a defensive? But we can't. And so we were leaning towards Chris Randolph until Aaron Hamilton got that last pick in a huge situation. 3 interceptions tonight, 2 of them in big situations. So our player of the game for the Blue Jays, safety Aaron Hamilton. Senior Aaron Hamilton did a great job tonight. He was one of the key players in this game.
Final score, Junction City 9, Manhattan 7. You're listening to the Cardinal Insurance postgame show. We'll be back to Simpler Stadium right after this.
Overflow parking lot, so plan on exiting the east exit. The 2018 Great American Rivalry Series, presented by the United States Marines, would now like to honor tonight's most valuable player and award the winning team the Great American Rivalry Series to performances. First, we'd like to recognize the most valuable player. As part of the series, ballots were distributed to members of the media in attendance in the selection of the game MVP. The votes have been tallied, and the winner is number 31, Christopher Randolph from JC High School. Congratulations.